Okay.
That was submitted by...
So yeah, welcome to Garbage Day 2. We're doing it again. We couldn't convince anyone else to do it with us, so it's just me, Portex, and French Toast.
Yep.
And we're just gonna do it the whole... All 24, all of us. So,
all 24
we also have anything to read, so we're just gonna play Shinobi for 24 hours.
Hey, as long as it's not As long as it's not Sissy Kiss, I'm fine. Whatever.
Well, let me tell you about the 6th stage in Shinobi.
Oh god!
No! It takes quite a turn.
Do I at least get to sing Billy Joel again?
I mean, no one's stopping you.
I mean, Frank did say the soundtrack was good. That's actually what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Shinobi was soundtracked by Billy Joel.
So yeah, this is Shinobi. Maybe it's still a
we're
bit
we're ninjas down in Allentown.
It's probably fine. Chat, tell me if the sound in the game is too loud. I can't quite tell, but I think it should be fine. So this is Shinobi. It actually came out like early 2001 or late 2000s. So
about 57 years ago.
Yeah, well, the relevant thing is that it is actually before Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
And yet I think it tries to solve a lot of the problems that Devil May Cry tried to solve with making an interesting action game in 3D, and I think it comes to a lot of the same solutions that Devil May Cry would come to both in its first game and in 3 and 4 and all the games that like split off from it. But it's also a game that's really mired in 2D design because it's a sequel to 2D games, like the Shinobi series of 2D side-scrollers. And that's probably enough of an intro. I'm going to be playing on Super until I can't manage it, and I'm not using the bonus characters until I do. Oh, and I'm playing from stage select because there's only one, you only get one save slot. Like, there is... It was the early 2000s. There weren't save slots yet, so like I can't do a new game and then continue. But I'm pretty sure we'll see all the cutscenes, which are of course very important.
It's got a Ninjaman in it. I actually did start playing this game a long time ago, and I stopped because I was
definitely didn't finish.
Yeah, I was extremely confused by the 3D combat in this as opposed to Devil May Cry.
All of the cabinet members reported dead. The capital is all but
Ooh, a sorcerer.
I heard what happened to the Oboro.
Wait, so he's self-proclaimed, but he summoned Hellspawn. I think that's all the evidence you need.
We can't hold out!
I mean, maybe he's just saying "so mote it be" and throwing paper at people.
Man, how great of a villain would that be, though?
I'll get off here.
This next scene was like the coolest thing I could imagine in 2000.
This dude's Naruto headband is awesome. Oh no!
Ninja!
Ninja in the shell here.
That would probably fuck up a sword, but I'm not an expert.
Not if you're that badass of a ninja.
I mean, yeah, the awesomeness cancels out any physics involved.
That's true. Also, this is going to be one of the only actually long cutscenes. I think everything else is like under a minute, so...
You get to see this cool ninja man.
We do get to see him. I think that this particular scene that we've cut to was probably like the previs stuff they showed at trade shows. And boy is it clunky now. Wow! Devil May Cry's motion capture. Yeah, well, Devil May Cry's like actually good choreography and like shit. Like absolutely, you can see the change that video games went through even in only a year. Cause like Jesus, that fight scene.
These talismans.
It's kind of like how Sephiroth just kind of slowly stabs it.
Yeah.
Anyway, also, this was in the era where you're supposed to read the manual. There's not too much in it, because there's not too much story, but long story short, we're a dude who's a member of the Oboro clan, and we're, like, the head of it, and the Oboro clan is all, like, dead, and we just found out that they're being, like, they had talismans on them because they're being controlled by the evil wizard guy, so we fight the Oboro clan. Let me clear this dude out, and I will show off some of the mechanics. Are my buttons right? Okay, my buttons are right.
I like how badass ninja pose every time.
I was about to say, I love how every time he stops, he's like ninja pose.
Oh yeah, his idle animation is the best. You'll see in a second. He just stands on his tiptoes. It's so good. So I'll just take this level to do the most of the mechanics, because it will be much harder to show them off in later levels. But there aren't too many. It's pretty basic. You've got a 4-hit combo. The last hit does a bit more damage. There's a few things you can do when you're locked on that I'll show with an enemy later. You have a double jump. You have a dash. You can do 1 jump and 1 dash in midair. If you hit somebody in midair, you actually get a dash back, which is very important later. You have a really cool scarf, which they made intentionally. It was actually apparently a mistake when they made it as long as they did, but they liked how it showed movement, and it showed you it showed the player where they just were, so they left it in.
Huh.
Because, like, A, this game moves very fast and has a terrible camera, and B, like, people weren't used to 3D games moving quickly, so, like, it's like, how do you keep track of this? So they put in a neat scarf.
Scarf didn't help me.
I didn't even think about the movement thing there. That's a neat idea. I thought it was just like, oh, this is like Spawn's cape. It looks cool. We should be like Spawn.
So there is a lock-on, and when you're locked on, you can actually circle dash around people. And you'll notice one really fun thing, which is that my dash leaves an after image, and it actually counts as a target. Like, they'll go after the after image, which is really important in later levels, because otherwise you'll just get hit all the time. Because on super difficulty, everything attacks you all the time. There's also a few attacks you can only do while locked on. You can hit back and attack to do a kick, which breaks guards, which is pretty good. And after the third or fourth, or replacing the third or fourth hit of your combo, if you hold forward and attack, you'll do a spin attack, which is really good. In fact, it's just kind of straight better than, it's just kind of straight up better than doing the normal ending. Because they didn't know that was a bad idea yet. Oh, and there's shurikens too. You can throw them individually. If you do a double jump, you'll use a whole pack. They do almost no damage, but they stun people, which is really, really, really useful. Oh, and if you hit someone in the back, they take double damage, generally speaking.
Just like in real life.
Ooh. Oh, did he drop a bunch of shurikens? Oh, he just dropped one. There's also wall running.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. Oh, hey, it's a dog. I guess... It's not clear to me if these are ninja dogs or just ordinary dogs. I guess they're supposed to be demons. But they might just, like, be dogs.
Oh, but they're wearing armor.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So you just saw a really fun mechanic, which is that sometimes you'll go outside of the area that the enemy thinks they're supposed to be in, and they'll just despawn. Which can be, like, devastating for reasons I'll get to in level 2.
Just emotionally.
Also emotionally devastating. Portex sounds distant. Is anybody else hearing that, or is that just Ambius? Anyways, oh yeah, so when you're on a wall, you can pretty much run on it freely, but you can't go up or down. You have an attack, and if you hold lock on, you do a slightly different attack. You can also dash on the wall. It's pretty straightforward. You'll notice that the enemies are freezing in place when I kill them for a little bit. That is a... there's a system in this game called the Tate system, where basically, as long as you keep killing people, they will stay frozen. Every time you kill someone, you have a few seconds to kill the next person or it falls apart. And if you get them all in the same combo, and there's at least 4 of them, you'll do a special animation, and they will all die simultaneously in a cool little flourish. And I'm not going to get it here, I'm talking too much.
I thought you did it earlier with the dogs. Like, you kind of face the
Oh,
camera.
I did do it with the
use your
dog.
sword and
Yes. So for the main thing that does for you, other than increase your combo score, which is kind of nice, is that it makes anything that an enemy would drop, they drop 3 of them. Which, the things that enemies can drop, sometimes ninjas will drop shurikens. And so 3 will basically fill you up entirely. But it's pretty random. But big enemies will drop health. And so it's really, really good to do that on big enemies, because then they'll drop 3 health pickups. And that's usually enough to get you to full. And it does something really, really important, but we'll get to that next level, because it doesn't exist yet.
That was like the demon tank. That was like made of demon meat.
Yeah, it's like he slapped a tag on the tank, and then it just like turns into evil.
I like how at this point in PS2 development, they hadn't really figured out like destructible environments and like everything you destroy just turns into, well, we're polygons now, fall apart, and then just clip through the ground. Goodbye.
I mean, that was so cool at the time, though, that these dudes fell apart. Like, it was so cool. I can't convey to you enough. I know you know it, but it was still like, this is the raddest thing that I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, I didn't talk about ninja magic.
Oh, please talk about ninja magic.
So you'll notice I just picked up a scroll, and if you look in the lower left corner, you'll see a fire symbol, which is my currently selected ninja magic. You start with one ninja scroll, which has a better name that I don't remember, and you can pick up 2 more in every level. Except for a couple levels, but basically every level. And when you use it, you get a special thing. Fire is just a very big explosion that's all around you and does a decent amount of damage. I guess I could just do them. I'll probably use that a couple times. It's handy when you fuck up and you don't have a Tate anymore and you really want to kill a big guy. This sort of beam thing gives you 6... The next 6 swings with your sword will be really powerful projectiles. It technically does more damage than fire, but it's actually kind of shitty. Unless you're like speedrunning, it's good against like 2 bosses. I don't know. I might use it a couple times. The best thing though is this lightning thing, which makes me invincible for a while, and it makes me dash incredibly quickly. And it's pretty much ideal for setting up Tates, and that makes it the best in the game, and I'll probably use it on bosses almost every time. You get bonus points if you don't use them. So if you're going for score, then you don't use those at all. Oh, and you'll notice if... See, I got 5 people in my combo that time, and it did like a different camera thing. If you get 5 or more people, you get like an anime reaction shot from the enemies. And if you get up to 8 people, you get really special animations that happen, and we'll see those eventually. You can't get 8 on most levels, as far as I can tell. There are probably some special ways to, like, goad enemies over or something. Oh yeah, the tank has a melee attack too, which you'll just see me get hit by right there.
Tank fist. Ow.
So if its barrel and swings it at you?
Yeah, well, it's a demon tank.
The demon tank in its natural habitat will fight against Predator.
All those tanks that were already all over Tokyo
Oh yeah.
are now evil.
Oh, I guess I should say that white thing. Ooh, there were more that the tank dropped. That's health. You can see in the lower left corner, those burning white flames are my health. It's pretty self-explanatory. I think that's all the mechanics that matter on this level, actually. There's a couple more we'll get to later. I think that's it. So yeah, that's Shinobi. Thanks for tuning in. I've talked about the mechanics, so I don't really care about the rest of it.
E ninja. Goodbye.
Now
it's time for the stream to ninja vanish.
You're banned.
Aren't you glad I'm here?
No. So now there's a possessed helicopter that will try and kill us. Because I guess you can do that? It's an ordinary helicopter, it's just got like a... Oops. Ow. There's a thing you can do where you actually hit the missiles it shoots out in a combo, but I never do it. Oh, you do get to see 2 things here. 1, how bad the camera can be, and 2, what it looks like when you just keep dashing and slashing into something.
Bonk, 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 bonk. I guess you could possess, like, it could be like an animism thing. where it's just sort of understood that you could possess an object.
I mean, the first handful of bosses in this game are a little bit different from the rest of them in terms of design. Ow, geez, I'm actually gonna die to him? I usually just sort of scrub this guy out, honestly. He might kill me. Yeah, well, the ninja killed me. Okay. So a fun thing is, if you die during the level, you restart the whole level over, but if you make it to the boss, you get a checkpoint at the boss. You lose some points for restarting, of course, but it's not really a big deal. Oh, this is one of the few places where it actually makes sense to use the beam sword. Because it takes off pretty big chunks.
Makes sense.
If I was going for points, I would try and get 4 ninjas killed and then finish off the helicopter, but I'm not really going to play for points because that is crazy to do in this game. Oh, I guess there is a button to switch lock-on that I almost never use because it is very clunky, and it's usually better to just try and let go of the lock-on button and then hit it again and try and get the thing you actually wanted. Or to just kill the thing you end up locking onto instead. Oh, this guy's so aggressive on this difficulty.
He was possessing the helicopter.
Whatever.
Oh, no, not that. Okay, I think I got him now. There you go. Helicopter defeated! And here's one of the only other surviving members of my clan. In fact, I think literally the only other surviving member of my clan.
Badass ninja team.
Leadership suits you well.
She a ninja lady.
You a ninja man? I'm a ninja lady.
Even if they are already dead.
Let's go on a ninja date.
Fushi-sama told me what happened. I guess the Oboro village truly was destroyed.
You left the Oboro clan. These are not the affairs of a rogue
The
ninja.
Oboro are dead! You are the leader of nothing!
Jeez,
Their deaths
okay,
shall
huh?
be avenged by my blade. I do not need your help.
So she's a jerk and she left the clan.
Leave here at once.
But our guy's a jerk. And says, I don't really want any other ninjas around. Also, you threw like one shuriken at it, like, who cares?
Sounds like you don't mind fighting your clansmen even though they're already dead, and be like, yeah, that's a big difference, don't you think? They dead already. They zombie. It's fine.
Would I say this is a game that I like now, or a game that was good, notable when it came out? When this game came out, it was very popular. Not astoundingly popular. It wasn't like Devil May Cry, where it was like a genre shaper. But it could have been. If it was a little bit different and a little bit better, and maybe came a year later, with the lessons they would have learned from that year, of how to make a game in 3D, this could have been the future of action games instead of Devil May Cry. And it's probably just as well that it isn't, because I think Devil May Cry moved things forward a little bit more, but I like thinking of alternate histories.
So in the Berenstain universe, everybody's mad about the Shinobi sequel that changed the guy's hair and made him like a young...
Well, actually, there was a Shinobi sequel, and it was very, very bad.
Oh, okay.
Like, you're joking, but that did happen. And it was bad, and it was called Nightshade, and it put in a lot more mechanics and tried to make things more interesting and varied, and also tried to fix the difficulty by making it beatable by normals. But it turns out if you take this game and make it, like, not difficult, it gets really not fun. is a big part of it, is the difficulty is an inherent part of how this game works, and if you remove it, it doesn't matter what else you improve, it's just a bad game.
But then you're shutting out your audience, and that makes you...
I mean, there's things to be said for being accessible. I'm not against that. But, like... And I think if Shinobi came out today, I would put a huge mark against it for being as inaccessible as it is. But at the same time, like... You can't just take what they've made and make it easier and expect it to be good. Anyways, so we talked all over the tragic backstory.
The ninja dead. Ninja dead?
Oh, here's our first flying head. I want someone. Could be one of you guys, could be someone in chat, but someone needs to keep track of how many different types of flying heads there are in this game, because it is.
Oh god.
It is so many, and I've never actually counted.
From what little I've played, I remember seeing quite a few, so that's gonna be quite a project.
If I can bait one of these dudes, you can knock people off the edge too, but it will you won't be able to combo them, of course. Well, I'm actually just okay. Fine, we won't knock you off the edge. It's like they don't just fall for being the same move over and over. So here's a new mechanic to introduce in this level. These big floating stone things. You can break them, and then if you break all of them in the area, the magic door opens. It's pretty basic. But they do a pretty good job of introducing it. And that they put one, like they do the thing that's pretty standard in old school games, where instead of telling you, like, break these, and you can go through the door, they just put one right in front of the door and make you break it or you won't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, fine then.
So, like, you literally can't not figure it out yourself. Whereas today, like, Ageha would come in and be like, Maritsune, that's a... I mean, wait, I'm Hotsuma, aren't I? Hotsuma, that's a barrier. You need to break it to get to the next area. And then you get to the next area and be like, another barrier? Time to do that breaking again. Barrier number 3. You know what to do. Yes, I know what to do, so stop. Stop.
just stop all the time.
Oh, and I guess this is also the... Oops. Well, that dude fell off, so I didn't get the tate. This is also the first introduction of the most deadly thing in this game, which is falling to your death. So it's a game about fighting things, so naturally the most dangerous thing that will kill you the most often is just like falling, because that's cool. Am I above the... Speaking of falling, I'm way too high and I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. Oh, you might see some golden coins lying around. There's secret Oboro clan coins. There's usually a few...
vending machines.
There's usually a few you can get on normal difficulty, and then there's a few more on hard, and then a few more on super. And on getting them unlocks things, like bonus characters, and if you get all of them, you get some extra stages. But they're, if you collect the ones you've already gotten, you just pick them up and nothing happens. I'll probably be grabbing a few out of habit, because they're not far out of the way, and I might show a couple off deliberately. So a really fun thing about this game is that it is actually really hard to dash around somebody, because it's 3D was new and they didn't realize they need to be generous. If your camera rotates, you need to be generous about what constitutes left and right.
Yeah, I hate when 3D games do that, and it's like, new perspective, now your controls are changed. It's like, but okay, now I have to press this part of the D-pad instead of this, okay.
Where's the... Oh, there he is. Yeah, I mean, interesting enough, Devil May Cry has that problem until the reboot, too. It's just a recurring issue.
Floating heads are fish people.
Yeah.
That weird.
They're like alien heads. Oh, they are fishes.
I mean, to be fair, Japanese demons do look pretty fucking weird.
Nope, they look normal.
They
You're
look
lying.
very normal, is what I mean.
Yeah.
I look like one of them.
Which one do you look like?
You know the one that's like an umbrella?
I was just
Yeah.
about to say the Carcass.
Are you a Carcasm in real life, Frank?
Yes. I know you're saying, but I saw you at F Plus Live, and that's not what you look like. Crisis actor.
I don't know, I can see it.
Well,
I mean,
thanks! I guess.
There's a lot. I mean, you were hopping around on one leg the entire time, Frank. Gotta admit. Or it could just be one of those mini stories where it's like, oh, I ran into a regular person and turned out to be a monster and ate my blood.
So you just saw a really fun mechanic in this game that's totally fair, and I really love it, which is that most of the ninja enemies have a dodge that lasts a pretty long time and makes them fully invincible. and there's nothing that just stops them from doing it over and over. In fact, basically every time you slash at them, they roll a dice, and they roll a die and decide whether they dodge or not. And in a game where you have a limited amount of time to do a combo as a very important mechanic, it's super fun when you build up your whole combo and then they just dodge 4 times in a row. And you just don't get the combo. It's really good and I like it. One thing about this game is that, like, they didn't really know how to make it much harder than it already was. So they just started making it more bullshit.
How do we do difficulty?
But it kind of works because it's
make it
just,
impossible.
I mean, they're not lying to you, they're not cheating you. They make it super clear that they're going to give you a bunch of bullshit. And it kind of ends up working. And that it's never too much bullshit. With one notable example. Or one notable exception. Is this the place where... Yes, it is. And see, now they put 2 things in, you have to destroy them. Like, see, you have to destroy 2. So these dudes are all lined up in a row, leading me to a secret. And as far as I know, this is the first time this happened in a game. I mean, this eventually is a thing that happened in Sonic games on the regular.
Yeah, the Sonic Adventure BS.
But, like, as far as I know, this is the first time where you just sort of dash attack to various enemies in order to accomplish something or get somewhere. Anyway, now I have to hope I don't screw it up. Because if I do, I die. And if I die, I start the level over. Fun time.
At least your homing attack works way better than it does in Sonic Adventure. Sonic Adventure, the homing attack is sometimes the completely miss the enemy and just fly off the side of the screen button.
Are you telling me that a Sonic 3D game was buggy? I don't believe it.
Poor bad.
Also, it looks like you're killing the fish dude who gives you maps from Wind Waker.
Holy small fry shit!
So now we're fighting this dude. I wonder who this is. He certainly doesn't look like anyone we've met yet. He's probably a new character.
So dies the Oboro bloodline.
Oh, that's Fred Shinobi.
Dying on the steps of Kamano's shrine.
Master Kabushi.
See, that's what he's saying. He's saying, well, I'm Fred Shinobi. Come down to Fred Shinobi's used cars. Someone's like, what? Sorry, my sword don't like you very much. How about I just take one of these cars? Like, no.
It's weird how
make 11.
It is weird how he has my dead brother Mritsune's hair and clothes and voice.
And he has like a glowing slash mark where it looked like you helped him commit seppuku.
I mean, like, yeah, that is all a weird coincidence. You're right.
Yeah.
So I'd like to point out that the sign says skill up, and then he does a big smash at the start of the stage, and it says kill up.
Kill you.
No, oh yeah, and then the P disappears, and it says kill you.
Kill you.
Kill you.
That's pretty cool.
So this fight is kind of a unique one in that it's a straight-up fair fight, and it's the only one of its kind in the game. Nothing else is like that.
That's what a good brother he isn't, because he's a new character.
But it's also, a fun thing is that on Super, it's actually, whoa, nice sign. On Super, it's actually one of the harder fights. So, that's fun. I'm actually gonna well, no, I'll play it out. It's mostly one of the hardest fights, until you realize that his dash attack can knock him off the edge and that does damage to him. And then it gets a lot easier, because you can just stand at the edge and watch
Does he
him do
goofy yell when he falls off the side?
A little bit. Not the goofy yell, unfortunately. He goes, oh, or something. Oh, no! Well, I'm dead. Nice.
Kill ooh.
My
He
father
can run up holes unless he's falling.
Oh, that hits me? Okay, well, I'm dead immediately. And then just in case he fucking Super Smash Brothers edge guards me. Cool. I was trying to show off that you can just jump over him and he will jump off. But this game is so deadly that I died instead.
Yeah, if you fall down like that, you gotta make sure you got your, you didn't use your wall run earlier, so it's not charged up. I'm gonna give you all these, amazing ninja tips as a
You can't wall
very
run.
shitty...
You can't wall run there. You can't wall run on anywhere on this boss area.
Yeah, but Toast has studied the ways of the cartoon ninja, so he knows a lot of ninja techniques that you might not know just
Yeah.
for playing this game.
I was just gonna give you all the tips I know from being a completely shitty Genji player in Overwatch, and
Oh,
I assume
now I
it
get it.
translates.
It does. A lot of people don't know this, but Genji's actually the same thing as this.
Just everyone's like, can we just put Shinobi guy in there? I mean, we could.
Yeah.
We have to take a scarf off though, it might get too obvious.
So there's a lot of ways to cheese this dude if you don't feel like fighting him fair. Like that magic.
It's really is Smash Bros. You might as well be Greninja at this point.
Greninja.
I should have been dead there.
Man, you say that beam slice whatever isn't that great, but it fucks up these bosses.
Yeah, but it stops fucking up bosses pretty quickly. That's the thing.
Okay.
Like you'll see later, but once we get a new mechanic introduced, it stops doing anything. This is like the other fight where it's worth using, basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love that in games when it's like, oh, this power-up, I'm gonna invest all my points in it, it's so awesome, and it really helps with bosses. It never works on another boss again. Oh, well, fuck me, I guess.
Like, technically, the beam thing does do more damage overall than the fire thing, but the fire thing makes you invincible longer and it hits everybody. And
Oh, okay.
if I'm using a damage thing, I'm usually using it on a group of enemies that is pissing me off. There is an infinite combo you can do, which I hopefully don't screw up, because this timing is pretty tight. There we go. I think he's dead now. Oh, right, he won't die from falling. Like, if the last hit to kill him is from falling, he won't do it. There we go. That combo that I did is a lot tighter in timing than you'd think. A lot of these things that I'm doing are like even the dash attack combo is, depending on enemy, can be relatively tight and difficult to do.
Drink of my soul.
Hurt me more, Snake. Oh no, now my sword are evil.
So cool!
No, ninja missiles! Shit!
Shoot a damn missile at you, no jutsu.
So that was the end of stage 1. Oh, and also, because it's based on an old school game, because it's old school 2D, you notice that was stage 1A and that was stage 1B.
Right.
The whole game plays out like that, where it's like there's 2 levels along each theme. And there's always like a human boss and then a demon boss.
Well, that was a pretty good Virgil fight.
Yeah. Yeah, except unlike Virgil, he's not my brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why did I even say Virgil? That's random. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
so weird.
His name is also Virgil, it's just a coincidence.
This is mine.
Remember when we were concept art, you guys? Those were the days.
Yeah, before we grew up. That's how you talk kids.
Let's make a grave for these fireflies. I don't know. They kind of look like kids. Except way worse.
Oh no, my sword a fatty.
What?
Trying to eat everything.
He has awakened. And now it craves but one thing.
When he cocked his head back, I thought it cut his head off.
Yeah, that's just the end of the game.
Yin is the collection of all the hatred and pain that people feel inside. Akujiki has consumed the yin of men since ancient times. If left unfed...
Oh, the health pickups I've been picking up are called yang, by the way. The white things are yang, and if you look closely, they're the white part of a yin-yang.
I am prepared to face my fate.
Hellspawn.
Like, every action in this game is so goofy looking.
The yin of the
Yeah.
Hellspawn...
Animation is hard.
Akujiki's hunger.
I must save Master.
Hori, small fry! Ah!
You're hurt. I will look for Kabushi-sama.
So, oh, it does show. I was gonna say if it was my first time through, it would tell me this, but it tells me this anyway. So, Akujiki has awakened now, and now we've got the actual main mechanic of the game.
It's so stressful. This goddamn sword.
So I might die just showing this off to start with, or at least lose a lot of health just to demonstrate. So now you'll notice in the lower left, along with my health, I've got a red meter that's slowly depleting. That's how much yang my sword has. Actually, give me just a second. I'm gonna switch headsets. This is getting a little sweaty and gross.
Should have paused the game before you do. Tiptoes. If I get on my tiptoes, will the sword stop eating me? I don't remember depleting this quickly. Is it just because you're on super mode?
Oh my god, it won't plug in. Please plug in. Everybody is just sitting
The sword's
there
gonna kill you while you're plugging
You get to see
in.
the sword kill me. There we
I
go.
bet your soul snail is dying.
Ah, okay, I'm back. Sorry, I have 2 sets of headphones.
No, my 9.
So yeah, you'll see that it's eating away at my health now, which doesn't look too severe, but it really does add up if you don't do shit correctly. The good news is, if I kill a man, I'm gonna let him expire. To show this off, I get some yin, but you'll notice I only got 1. And now I'm back to it. I'm back to losing it. So, the way that you have to keep it... But remember how I said earlier, when you get a tate on someone, they drop 3 times the amount of items? That works for their yin, too. So, the key to staying alive is to get tates, and if you... As long as you get a tate, like, you'll get enough yin that your whole meter will fill up. Please don't.
Unless they dodge you over and over again.
Right. And you'll notice the game's actually enforcing me to notice this because they made the first group of enemies 4 and the second group of enemies 3, so I couldn't get a tate on them. And here's a dog. It's a different dog, but it's basically the same dog as before. In fact, I think these dogs are almost easier.
I think they're supposed to be kitsunes.
They are, but they're dogs.
I mean, I guess they have their skeleton. They're rigged. The same skeleton as the dogs. Hello, we foxes. Fall down. Oh no, jumping out.
I mean, they're like guardian statues, so are they really anything, you can say. And here's our first normal demon enemy. He's got a lot of health.
He's a Tengu.
He is a Tengu, and he's got a lot of... Tengus have a lot of sweeping area attacks, and if you attack them from the front, they tend to block and do a really brutal counter. I'm sorry, did I just, like, vanish? What the fuck just happened? That was weird.
Or a ninja.
Maybe just the camera got confused. Anyways, so Tengu, being a sort of big type enemy, will always drop a health, so if you can tate them, they're real good to get a full health from.
Badass ninja cutscenes.
I could get that coin if I felt like it, but I don't. It's a pain.
I like that the design doc of this game so far seems to be you are a ninja. Your goal, and to stay alive, you have to be as ninja as possible.
Yeah. So a really common thing in stylish action games is to put in a core mechanic that reinforces what the character's supposed to feel like. Dante gets stylish meter from doing a bunch of different moves and mixing it up. Bayonetta, like, doesn't quite have that. Beautiful Joe, like, you need to use your special effects. Like, it's a really... In fact, it's not just stylish action, it's just common in action games in general these days. And Shinobi got to it really early and realized, like, we want to make the player feel like a ninja, but with the game we have, like, there's nothing making them act like that. They could just stay back and be, like, cowards. Oh, I didn't reveal the most important part of the fucking system. Good job, Frank. So the most important part of the system, you'll notice that every time, as I kill more enemies, my sword starts glowing more and more and in different colors.
Oh god, this shit.
That's not, like, just a visual effect. Every enemy I kill makes my sword do twice as much damage. I don't think it's actually twice as much, but let's just say it is. So you notice it takes a while. It only takes 2 hits to kill that dude, and now it's only gonna... Well, okay, it didn't do enough to make it not take 2 hits to kill the third dude, but basically, your sword does more and more damage the more enemies you have in your Tate combo. So you want to... So, like, if, for instance, against that Tengu, you notice I killed him in 1 hit from behind, but still. I'm not gonna lose my combo. Talking too much. It's because that I killed 4 demon dogs before him, and they were still sitting in the combo. So my sword hit, and then I also hit him behind, and those add together. So the key is to kill a bunch of weak enemies going up to the strong enemy, which will be very, very important when we get to bosses. It's important on almost every boss going forward.
That's about around the time when I moved on to a different game, because I was having a tremendous amount of difficulty doing the whole, like, kill a bunch of enemies and then run up to the boss and hit the boss. I ran out of my combo, like, every single time I tried to get to the boss. Not good.
Yeah, it's not an easy game. On normal difficulty, you can beat up to the boss of Area 4 without actually having to do Tate. The boss of Area 4B forces you to do it. She's a big difficulty spike, but we'll get to her when we get to her. Oh, and there's one move I got when Sakujiki powered up. If I hold down slash... Oh, does it not work if there's no enemies? Maybe it doesn't. I guess it doesn't. How about that? I've never bothered to try it. Here, I'll do it on some enemies. I can charge up and then I do a big dash attack. It's a very powerful attack. It uses about half my yin bar. So I need a lot of yin to use it in the first place, and if I don't get a Tate from it, it's really bad. So its main use is to, like, charge up and kill the last enemy, because the charge attack, charged up by a bunch of Tates will generally kill something.
Also, I wanted to point out that Montrith is very disappointed. She's saying this isn't a real ninja game because nobody's wearing a bright orange jumpsuit. So I just want to point that out.
Chai asks, does that mean that there's a correct way to take out a boss henchman? At a certain point, it is the only way to take out a boss henchman. These little, like, large demon mini-bosses, you can fight them one-on-one. In fact, they force you to fight one of these Tengus one-on-one at the start of the level. But when it comes to the bosses, there's a point where the bosses have so much health that you effectively cannot... You literally don't have enough time to kill them. Because you will eventually have your life drained by your sword. But for the first few bosses, that's not the case. And in fact, for these bosses, I will probably be hitting them normally, because these two suck.
Hotsuma, let us rest in peace.
Please, kill us.
These two were the ninjas in training of the Boron clan.
Not you two.
Character modeling is a difficult practice.
It's very difficult.
Master!
And this is the only dual boss in the game, and it doesn't work very well. So, I actually forget which one is which, but the girl will chase me around and do a bunch of quick attacks. The guy is using, with her sickles, the guy is using I forget what that's called, that weapon. But his weapon almost never actually does damage. It actually hit me right as I said that. But usually it doesn't do damage. What it does is stun me. You'll notice I'm just, like, stunned. If it hits me just right, he can keep hitting me with it and I just get stun locked, and it's the worst. And they periodically have this, fastball special team-up attack. And these guys are, again, on Super, way harder than some of the bosses that come after them. If you don't do the trick. So you pretty much just have to dodge for a while, and then... The thing is, like, only 4 dogs show up, which is not enough to charge your sword to kill them instantly. Or even do that much damage. And then there's a lot more waiting and dodging. But if you just stand on the fence, they don't understand what a fence is. I mean, I don't think the developers realized you could do this. So you can just, this is the actual strat, is to do this. And I don't mind it at all, because fighting these dudes straight is miserable. Because you'll so frequently get a combo up and go to kill one of them, and then the boy will stun you. And you won't be able to kill anything. Like, you'll kill the 4 dogs, you'll run up to the girl or the guy, and you'll just get stunned. In fact, they also have a tendency to kill the dogs themselves, which is really, really annoying.
It's kind of a dick move.
Yeah, it means, like, I think specifically only their team-up move can actually hurt the dogs, but they do the team-up move when the dogs spawn, specifically. So, like, that doesn't stop, like, that's exactly when the dog will be there. Oh my god, please do not. Jesus, these dudes are the worst. Okay. Now that I've explained that, I'm going to use ninja magic on them, and that will probably make things much easier.
I believe in you, Frank. You can kill those children.
I like when you die, you just fall down straight going.
I'm done, ninja. I'm done ninjing.
Just
Sleep time.
lie down.
Ninja nap. It also just kind of looks great because it's like the kid's power is no match for doing badass ninja pose on a on a structure.
Yeah,
Never
this is
taught us how
really
to attack upwards.
this is really like an older game thing. It's like early boss or bosses with gimmicks that's way tougher than anything else that you have to like cheese out to win.
That was not very much damage because they killed 2 of the dogs. Oh, and in most boss fights, there's some destructible that will have, like, health in it. It's not usually very much on Super, because the health doesn't heal that much anymore, but... Please don't hit the dogs. You hit the dog! Stop hitting the dog! Why would you hit dog?
Don't kill that fox. I was gonna kill that fox. Foxes are cute, though.
I'm gonna die now. I was already dead.
Uh,
There's a point where, like, I don't have enough health to survive the sword soul-sucking me. And I just know it, and I kind of give up then. Ugh.
You're full down.
The kids also look kind of...
Well, they don't want to kill me. Actually, if you look in the manual, the girl has a crush on Hotsuma.
Checks out.
I've never really figured out a consistent way to manipulate them to not kill the fucking dogs. I don't understand how to do it.
Kids love killing dogs. It's part of nature.
Killing dogs and not understanding fences. Kids, am I right?
Those are the 2 things I know about children.
Yeah, it kind of seems like a design oversight to make the whole game's combo based around killing a number of enemies, and then also making it easy for those enemies to die other ways, outside of your control.
Well, I got the girl in 1 hit because I hit her from behind with a full charge. So now I just need to kill the boy, which is a lot easier once you've eliminated one of them because you can just keep shurikening him.
How do you like getting stunned?
It's like getting a kunai in the face.
Although I don't think you can kill him in 1 go because he has a lot more health than the girl does. And also, every time you hit him, he rolls away for a while, so you can't actually, like...
Again, consistent with children. Hit them with a sword once and they roll away.
Kids in the wild are naturally spherical. You can roll away at the first sign of danger.
Kids being like that one kid from Hook.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
You don't really want to do a cool pose while murdering the kids, though. Like...
I mean, you don't.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not a ninja.
Just zooms in on his face and a single tear goes down.
Oh, that'd been so good!
Hey, did anybody try just taking the tags off their body, though? I mean, like,
That's
I'm
how
not
you
an
take
expert.
them off. You cut them off while you kill them.
Well, most of the enemies that you fight that have tags, the tags will, like, vanish as part of their death animation if you get the Tate.
Now my sword is powered by children. Good.
You're joking, but that's actually the master plan of the bad guy.
I don't want to grow up I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Akumiji is enemy to children.
Someone call Gamer.
There's only one cool pose that he does when he does a mid-air one, which is unfortunate because you do a lot of mid-air combos. Oh, new enemy. These dudes are, like, really defensive, basically. They block a lot.
Shut up.
On lower difficulties, they block way more than other enemies. On this difficulty, all the enemies block a lot, but these guys are only a little bit better at it. And they have a bit more health, and that's pretty much it. They're pretty standard.
It's supposed to be like Onis, or what are they supposed to be?
They're just more ninjas. Like, they're just Oboro Clan ninjas.
Yeah, they're just more ninjas.
Yeah, like half the enemies are just Oboro Clan ninjas.
Well, they should have known that Shinobi Man was going to be the only one to survive because he's one of the few with a unique character model. Like, if you have a generic character model, you're pretty much screwed.
Hey, how come we all wear this fucking green thing? Can I switch?
Yeah, he gets a cool scarf. Where's my scarf?
Yeah, I brought my scarf from home. Is that cool, everybody? Like, I just had this. My grandmother gave it to me.
It depends. Does it flip around all badass when you're jumping around?
Ooh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
sorry, that position's taken. Cool scarf guy is reserved for the clan master.
Ooh, I'm sorry. Your ninja headband only has 3 evil eyes on it. I'm sorry. That's not enough.
Yeah, like, he sees through those, but I don't know what the extra eyes are for. I guess it's, like, technology.
So he can see more.
See more. Sorry.
Or maybe it's like a...
Shinobi, but it's a steamed ham. Sorry.
Maybe it's like Sam Fisher's goggles where he's got 3 of them. He's like, oh, yeah, I got 4 of them.
I think, isn't there a Japanese, like a demon, like an Oni or something that has 4 eyes? Like, that's supposed to be a thing, like, demons have 4.
Hey,
I mean,
so, just a real quick thing I want to point out, because it blew my mind when I came back to Shinobi and realized this was here. This game has dodge offset, a combo mechanic that wouldn't exist as a thing until Bayonetta. Specifically, it's when you do an attack and then dodge. You can continue with the next attack and the combo after the dodge. So I can do 3 hits and then dodge, and then I'll do the 4th hit of the combo. Which is like most games have like a 3 or 4 hit combo of some sort, and you dodge so much that you tend not to see the last hit.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like a solution to that, and a way to let an advanced player do those moves. And it's really cool that Shinobi saw that problem and fixed it, like a decade before Bayonetta fixed it. Anyway, sorry to interrupt about the demons, but I just realized that
demons have eyes.
Demons do have eyes.
They do have eyes.
Just because I'm an underpinned nerd, I remember it like on Evangelion, like Asuka's Eva had like 4 eyes and it was supposed to be like a reference to demons. Or to a certain demons.
I mean, the
Also,
thing
it makes
is,
sense because, you know, 4 is death, so 4 eyes.
with Japanese ghosts and stuff, if you say, is there a Japanese ghost that does blank? It's like, probably.
True.
There's like 8 billion of them. It'll be like, oh, are you hungry today? Probably a ghost. Your bathtub dirty? I don't know, it's probably a ghost. Where'd the oil for your lamp go? Ghost, obviously. Don't be an idiot.
We've had way
Did
more
you forget
time
to refill
make
the
up-
oil? No. Ghost?
It was ghosts. It was the oil stealing ghost.
Japan has had way more time to make up creatures for things. We have like the Jersey Devil and Bigfoot and Mothman, and I think that's it.
What is the Jersey Devil even supposed to look like again?
It's supposed to
Kevin
have
Smith.
Yeah, I think so. No, the Jersey Devil, it's actually the opposite of Kevin Smith, 'cause the Jersey Devil's supposed to have a head way bigger than its body. By quite a margin. It's got like a big like horse head or something, if I remember right. Monsters are so lame.
Yeah.
Japanese monsters way cooler.
And this one's a moth and a devil and a big hairy guy.
I almost just died because I dashed once after killing an enemy, by the way. Just to give you an indication. It may not look like this is hard. This game's very hard.
I mean, either Duck, you say there is no ghost that lives in butts, but there's the ghost that steals your soul out your butt. Does that do anything for you?
Fuck, I almost just died again. No, that I did. I'm dead.
I just love how when you... Sorry to trivialize your death there, but... I just like how when you chop things in half, they're just full of, like, meat texture.
Yeah, there's no bones, it's just... red.
Like you're chopping a toaster strudel in half, it's just full of delicious cherry jelly.
Yeah, Kappas steal your soul out your butt. Specifically the part of your soul that lives in your butt. Because I'm pretty sure Japanese ghosts were just made up kind of on the spot. When people were asking questions about them, they're like, yeah, it's like a river turtle man, and he's got like he likes cucumbers, and he steals your soul out your butt. Like,
yeah, and you have to like...
steals my soul out my butt? And like, yeah, what do you mean? Like, it's the part of your soul that lives in your butt, it takes that one. Yeah, don't be stupid, I know what I'm talking about.
Your butt soul, obviously. Jesus, I mean...
Do you guys not keep your soul in your butt?
That's where mine's been.
You have to keep it there, or the spirit who steals it out of your head will steal it.
Yeah, or the fox that steals it out of your fingernails and your tits will take it. That'd be stupid. That is the thing that kids are nice to. Steal your soul out your tits. So don't keep your soul in your tits or your butt. Vacationing tips for Japan.
You know, people say Tit Souls is too hard, but I actually really like it. It's fun. It's challenging. Dark Souls is the tit soul of games. I don't know.
Tits are the dark soul of the body.
Yeah, there you go. That's better, thank you.
I bet if I look it up, there is going to be some review or some like really stupid like Penny Arcade style review. Dark Souls. It says something about tits being the Dark Souls of the body.
Perhaps this is our destiny.
I do like that with Kappas, the way you defeat them is tricking them into, like, spilling the, little bowl of water that's on their head. Yeah. And after that, they're just like, you got me.
I think
that's why I kept all my power, instead of in a place that doesn't spill.
I think if I had a plate on my head full of water that contained all my power, I would be way more careful about... like, they'd be like, oh, I'm gonna bow, and like, oh, well, I'm not gonna bow because I fucking got a plate of water on my head that's got my power on it. Or you put like a lid. Can you do that? Can you make a lot of money selling lids to Kappas? We call them Kappas. Kappa caps. Yeah, there you go.
Cap, but no.
Kappas.
Yours is better already. I got this all off sequence. So if you kill some enemies in a group but not others, depending on where you are, some of the enemies in a nearby group might spawn, but not all of them. Like if there's a group of 4 and then after that another group of 4, and you kill 2, then you'll get like 2 from the second group, and that can screw up your tate entirely. Dang, that's my combo. This gang right here is very aggressive.
Maybe they're all just trying to steal your scarf. Maybe if they took your scarf, then they'd be the main character, and you'd be the generic ninja.
My scarf holds all my power. It's like the Capra water bowl for me.
Don't take my scarf.
No, I'm gonna suck your soul out your butt. Fall down.
Yeah, if anything's hanging over the edge, you can kill it with a shuriken.
Oh no!
Long live the king.
By the way, the charge attack that I've mentioned, and I've only done a few times, I didn't know it existed as a kit, because it never tells you when you're in the game, and it's only listed in the manual in like a tiny place. Like, I just had no idea. I'm not gonna get a combo, oh well. That's fine, I didn't really need it. So now we meet up with our master, who we were told was dying like an hour ago. I guess we went all the way across town and he's still dying.
You're
Movie countdown logic.
By surprise.
Hey, it's our old friend, Demon Helicopter, but now he has a mouth.
Ooh.
He's even more demon. He's got a mouth and eyes, and it's really weird. Oh, and that's right, and his missiles have mouths. I forgot.
Bitey copter is out for
Nom,
blood.
nom, 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 nom.
The fun thing is that he
Langoliers.
doesn't bite you or do anything different from his first fight, other than have more health and be a little more aggressive. He's the only repeat boss in the game. Everything else is unique, so it's kind of weird, but...
Monter says, I do kind of like that one of our, which you finish, biggest mythological heroes is an old man who defeats his enemies by singing at them. Why is that game not out? I would play that.
The stylish action of rhythm games.
Ooh, be like Guitar Man.
Wow, I'm getting the shit beaten out of me by these missiles. It's very good.
Quick, pose on the fence. Maybe they won't see you.
No, I don't know of any other tricks in this game that fuck up a boss that bad. I mean, there's a few ways to make yourself not get hit, but... also, now that we've seen the Tate system, like, you'll see... Actually, let me show you how little damage I do if I just walk up and slash this dude. It's a lot less than it was the first time. I could still pretty feasibly beat him by just doing this, though. In fact, I think I'll just do this as a backup plan. But this is why the invincibility spell is far and away the best magic, because you can... It lets you do a Tate, which... well, let's see if I can get it right. It'll show you how much more damage it does. Oh my god, the missiles killed them. It's only the early bosses that will actually kill their minions. Later bosses won't do it, with one exception. I'm gonna die now anyway. Cause he killed the mens.
Why he kill his own guy?
It's like they know that you need a combo, and so they kill their own guy. It's like, haha, what are you gonna do now?
So if I time it right while I'm slashing this dude, I'll actually slash the missiles. But if you don't, then they'll hit you.
You stupid helicopter, I hate you.
Oops, oh no. Oh no, I'm gonna lose my combo. Yeah.
Montrose, you say your mythology isn't that creative, but I'm looking at the Wikipedia entry for Finnish mythology right now, and it's got like world eggs and spirit birds. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Wow. I let that missile hit me. Ugh, I can't believe I had the full combo and then I dashed away from the guy. The missiles have a moment before they accelerate, so if you're close, they'll just sort of stare at you and be like, I'm about to hit you, and you can't do anything.
Oh yeah, I saw them. I'm gonna get you.
I also like, since it's a demon helicopter, the helicopter blades are like on fire to indicate.
Well, if you look, it's got eyes above that are sort of in the after image of the.
Ooh.
Oh, he's gonna script my combo with the missiles. There's nothing I can do. I paused because I wanted to keep the combo. Thanks, Chai. I will try not getting hit by the missiles. I'm not even at the hard part yet. Like, it's very hard to play this game and talk at the same time.
Quick, Frank, list all your favorite breakfast cereals while you're playing this game.
Shinobos. No, that's bad too. That's nothing.
Or Robo-O's.
That's so much better!
Yeah, that's the cereal he used to eat, but now he can't have it anymore because everyone's dead. You'll pay for this, not my brother, or whatever the fuck's going on in this game.
He shot him with fucking machine guns! Right when he had 1 health left. And he did it again. The man is literally kill stealing.
Reported.
And then he... okay. Yeah, no, I was dead anyway. I was dead when he kill stole and hit me with the missiles at the same time.
Frank West 2018.
So a really fun thing, they realized how overpowered it would be to get half your combo and then be like, okay, now that I have the combo, I'm going to use invincibility. So if you use ninja magic in the middle of a tate, everyone who is alive in the tate will die immediately. So you can't use it mid-combo. Just fun.
That good. Oh, Pepsi Man, me and Toast actually played Double Dragon Neon.
Yeah.
Once
awesome.
on a stream, but the Steam version, the game would crash after every level, and the last level was technically split into 2 parts. So like, it would try to get to the last part of the last level, and the game just consistently crashed over and over again, so we couldn't actually show the end of the game.
Yeah, it was annoying.
So that's good.
I hope they fixed it, but yeah, that Steam version was stupid. Bad port.
I'm dead now, I think. Well, maybe not. Hold on.
You got this, Frank. You got this. Unleash your inner ninja. Unleash
No,
ninja.
I mean, like, I think I literally can't do the damage in time that I need to.
No, you got this. I
No,
believe
but-
in you.
I might have to, like, gather the ninja scrolls and start saving. Or maybe stop talking for hard bosses.
That's fine. Me and Toast can just ramble
Yeah.
while you do.
Like, I thought of a really nerdy joke for the cereal thing, for the ninja cereal.
Good.
Kakashi.
Oh, I get it. It took me a while to realize what cereal you were punning off of.
Yeah.
I use that way too early. They're not spawning yet. Oh, that's right. If you hit the missiles just right, they'll actually explode in the dude. It's a weird, like, damage condition that other bosses don't really have.
Explode in the Dude is my favorite Andrew WK album.
That would be quite a party. Oh, I know, Toast. I know something, I guess you can go pass the time while he's fighting helicopter.
Uh-huh.
So, found a tweet by Kamiya that said his favorite Mario character is a Goomba because it's cute.
Huh.
So that started a huge argument between me and Frank. Well, not as huge. We've had huger, but about which Mario enemy is the cutest and which is the ugliest of like the recurring Mario enemies.
There we go. I did it. I beat the man.
Alright,
Not an
save your
elegant
answer
finish.
for the next boss.
Okay, to be continued. Because I already have an answer for cutest.
Ooh. Now you have to think about ugliest.
Golden Palace and caused the earthquake in Tokyo.
Oh, your Ninja
didn't
Master's got a
Update the top
stick
half
for a
of
leg.
my
A
face.
cursed ritual.
I don't think your eye patch is working right.
He was stopped by the
Got a hole in it.
and was sealed in this very temple. But somebody has broken the seal.
Broken the seal?
I came here to see if I could figure out who it was, and this is what happened.
What? You look fine. You're just
The
sitting.
guardian of this shrine
No, his leg's a stick.
has been kidnapped.
He's already half pretty.
They
The
will
transformation
sacrifice her for some dark
will be
ritual.
complete soon.
Here, the location
Dude, you gotta get the panties.
must stop Yoko at all costs.
So long story short,
Okay.
an evil dude was
Take
sealed
care,
for a really
Master
long
Bush.
time, and now he's unsealed, and the maiden who dealt with the shrine has been kidnapped because she's important for the shrine, and that's it.
It seems like between this and like Fatal Frame and stuff, Japan's got this big problem of like, no, there's like an unstoppable evil in this shrine. Don't touch it. No, I'm serious. Don't touch it. It will destroy everything.
I think I want to open that shrine. You do not want to open that shrine.
But what if I opened it? No, okay, are you
No!
listening?
Literally. Okay, we've been through this like 6 times. Don't open it. So, you're gonna be mad, but,
So this is the part of the game where I think it really started getting hard for people. The first mission, the first few levels introduced, like, the basics of combat. Sword dogs! I forgot the best enemy!
yeah, it was just the subway,
It's a mall.
the mall or whatever. I
Yeah.
kept thinking it was a subway, but
I mean, it's sort of ambiguous, but
dogs.
it's a mall. Sword dogs. And you'll notice they're not just carrying any swords. Like, those are special swords for dogs, because, like, they have middle grips.
they're doggy mouths.
They're like
So
Darth
the
Maul
Oboro
katanas.
just train dogs to hold swords in their mouths, and I'm trying to show off how they work, but I'm probably just gonna die if I do that. So, sword dogs are actually really infuriating because they automatically block anything that hits their sword from the front, which is really common, especially when you're hitting other things. In fact, I'm not even sure if you can kick through there. I guess not. They also attack really, really fast on Super, as you can see. So, they're probably one of
Fast
the...
forwarding.
They're one of the harder enemies in the... Or one of the more annoying enemies in the game, I would say, inherently. Good news is they have basically no health.
And they're wearing little ninja outfits, though. It's so
They
cute.
are. They're adorable, and I feel bad when I cut them in half. A little bit.
Not the children so much, but the sword dogs.
Well, yeah.
You look awesome.
We have a gif of the sword dogs, maybe not that much.
Wow.
Reminds me of the playable dog. Reminds me of the playable dog character in Persona 3. He holds like a little dagger in his mouth. It's adorable.
Oh, that's cute.
That dude got very enthusiastic about me dashing towards him. He was like, I'm gonna do a huge jump! Like, I'm already behind you.
Totally telling the other ninja zombie, like, dude, when he comes out, I'm totally gonna do this awesome leap. It's gonna be amazing.
It's like, you're gonna fuck up the leap, dude. I've seen you do the leap. You always... No, I'm gonna do the leap, man. Fine.
I've been practicing it like all day. It's gonna look sweet.
One thing that the enemies in this level are supposed to teach you is patience, because they're all very vulnerable to counterattacks. It doesn't work on me, I'm super impatient anyway. But a lot of these dudes are just... It's the best way to get through their guard is to... Oh, actually, here's a fun thing. This is also a level where people start getting turned around. The game puts in these black barriers to be like, you're going the wrong way, but there's a lot of identical-looking rooms that are symmetrical. And it's nearly impossible. Like, even I, who've been through this game many times, I get turned around on the reg. Not too often. It's not as bad if you pay attention. And usually and sometimes the blackberries don't show up until a while, so if you're new at this game, like, you can definitely get into a situation where, like, God damn it, fucking dogs. You can definitely get into a situation where you, go pretty far back and don't fight any enemies and then come into the black barrier telling you you're going the wrong way. And, like, you're already lose a lot of health to your sword by the time you get back in the right direction.
See, when I first played this, I also got really confused as to what was, like, happening in the game, because first off, I keep thinking this is a subway, but secondly, I just assumed that all the traditional Japanese art all over the place meant the demons were, like, turning Japan into, like, a feudal Japan. But Frank was telling me that this is just supposed to be what the place is supposed to look like, and it's just destroyed because demons.
It's destroyed because he summoned, like, a big golden palace that caused an earthquake.
Yeah, but I thought, like, maybe, like, the evil demon curse was also, like, affecting, like, that's why there's ancient Japanese art all over the place, too.
No, that's
but
just what
maybe
malls
it's not.
look like in Japan. For real. And definitely. I mean, it is cool to see a game from Japan to depict Japan in the way that they depict America, which is just covered with, like, stereotypes. Is this the tank area? No, it's up next. There are gas traps here. I'm not gonna get to the top. Nope. Just not in time. These gas traps are not very hard because they don't usually cover both angles, so you can just walk over them. I think they're just sort of newbie traps. Oh, and the others disappeared because I went too far. Remember I talked about that in the first level? I went far enough that they're like, well, okay, we don't want to fight him anymore, and they vanished.
Goodbye.
I think if you dash just right, you can actually get through those gas traps. But it's so hard to perceive their exact depth since they're, like, basically particles that I don't ever try. I'm not gonna get the thing.
Sword's starting to eat you, you should probably
Perhaps
do
this
that.
is our destiny.
I'd like to picture like the sword has a little like mouth on the handle, and, like when you're going, it's just like going num num.
Stop eating me, sword.
No, 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 no.
I just fed you literally 2 minutes ago.
Give me tasty yang. No. Come on.
Don't you fucking... Okay. That was a rare dodge the kunai to fuck me over instead of dodge my sword to fuck me over.
Wow. Overwatch League dodge in there.
I mean, in fairness, I shouldn't have let him get that far away.
This entire game is actually you just fighting Dallas Fuel for all their stream comments.
Well, no, I said it's difficult.
Oh, hey!
Hey! Suck it, Dallas Fuel.
Yeah, you're right. I bought a Dallas Fuel skin because it looked cool. And it's like, oh, 1 and 6. Well, good job, guys.
I feel bad because there's a lot of TF2 players I actually know about on Dallas Fuel. Like,
Oh, huh.
Seagull, Taimu. Not that Taimu's a good person, but
Oh, you
Seagull's
know
a really good person. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I've played
I know
in the same
Seagull.
room with him. I don't know him personally.
Oh.
Your best friends, I'm gonna tell them that you
I was best
name
friends.
dropped him.
He's a really good Genji player, so, you know, maybe he could teach you how to play this game and stop
No.
getting dodged. I'm banned, aren't I?
You've been banned this whole time.
Oh, yeah. I
Had you on
forgot.
mute.
Wait, where am I going? Oh, wow, they dropped a lot of shurikens. way more than I could ever possibly want. Thank you. Oh, this is the one with the tank. Oh, it's gonna hit me. Oh, cool. If you get right behind the tank, it gets really mad, because it can't actually hit you back here.
I'm angry.
Angry. Just an angry emoticon face shows up for a tank. Grr.
Take that, meat tank.
Slap some meat on a tank, and now you have meat tank.
Yeah, you chop the tank in half and it's got meat inside that, too. So the evil spells turned everything into hamburger. Wouldn't that be a great game, though? You're a ninja and everything's a hamburger? I haven't worked out the details yet, but that's already a good premise.
It's a very good premise. I think we need a little more than that, but maybe not.
I bet you there's at least one studio where I could just come up to them and say that, and they'll at least consider it.
Welcome to Zynga.
It's pre-charging its melee. Oh, that's bad. I'm really hurt right now. Hold on.
It swings its barrel at you. No! No, you go away.
Shinobi Latte says, wait, is the tank shooting kunais? I think it is.
Ah, I'm dead. So that door right there is where the boss is. But this place right here is where I have to hit retry and start over and do a much better job.
Smacking your body.
No, go away. It needs like a big, like, Mickey Mouse hand glove on the end of it when it smacks you.
Yeah, just like Cuphead style grows one.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cute.
So we get a nice close-up of the dog pulling apart here. That's a thing that would be on FBI tape.
Swarp.
Wow.
See, okay, so in the game there's ninja and there's hamburgers, but how do the hamburgers figure in some capacity? Are they enemies?
Burger time too.
Ooh, now it's personal. It's like personal against what?
Hamburgers?
I don't know, dude. I haven't finished that part of the lore Bible yet.
Burger time for vengeance. Before he started his famous burger restaurant, Peter Pepper was a renowned ninja, Pitoru Pepperu.
There we go. Playing much smoother now.
Maybe you could have like a big Mayor McCheese head. His head's burger.
I can't be a ninja because of my giant head!
That's also... I feel if my head was a giant hamburger, me saying my head is giant is kind of bearing the lead here.
Yeah.
My head is giant. Well, okay. It's also a hamburger. Okay.
My head is giant, and that's the least interesting thing about my head. The second most interesting thing.
There was that RPG that me and one of my friends wanted to come up with where it was just like the ancient battle was against, was like between different fast food chains. And that was going to figure heavily into the plot and the gameplay. The only thing I remember was one of the ultimate spells was going to give the enemies heart attacks.
Oh no! I screwed up. It's not a big deal.
That one's still of Cloud and Sephiroth from Final Fantasy, from Advent Children, but they're the Colonel and Ronald McDonald.
Oh yeah, I think that's where we got the idea actually.
Final Fast Food 7 Advent Chicken.
Yeah. I think something like the villain was gonna be like a health guru or something.
Huh.
Like the ultimate goal was to eliminate all healthy food from the from the universe. Screw that, I'm way more interested in my new idea though.
Ah shit, I fucked up. There we go. That's fine, there's a basically full health right behind me.
Good night, Montrez.
Good night, Mantra.
Don't let your kitty turn into a yokai of some sort.
Yeah, if you
Nico
see your
Buck.
cat with a sword in its mouth, just make sure to dash around behind it before you attack it for the belly.
It's true. Frank did that to my cat, and it hasn't bothered me since, on account of it's chopped in half. But
Yeah, but did you see the pose I struck?
it was pretty badass. Kinda worth it. I have that photo on my mantle.
I did like one time you did a tate before your soul went all through her mouth and went num num num. And it was just like a zoom in on your thigh. And I'm like, camera!
Yeah, no, the camera didn't... I mean, for the time, it's really impressive how often it manages to pick a genuinely cinematic pose where you can see everything. But it definitely doesn't do it right most of the time. Like, a lot of the time it fucks up.
Well, the cameraman's the hidden hero of this game. He's really into Shinobi's ass. So he just kind of tries to sneak a peek every so often.
Who can blame you? Who can blame you?
Oh, I thought I had another kill. Oh, I screwed up. I was wondering why that man wasn't dead.
That's true. I guess your cat could turn into like the Nikomata, like the two-tailed cat that controls dead people. Not the scared cat. My cats do that. Stop that cat.
Oh yeah, isn't the mascot character from Yokai Watch supposed to be one of those?
Oh yeah. I don't
So
think
is
he
that a
controls
show
the dead,
about a
though.
yokai, like, watch, like, the object?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, like you put yokai into the watch that you're wearing, the yokai watch.
It sounded like a news segment when I first heard about it, like, Yokai Watch.
Forgive me.
Tonight on Yokai Watch.
There's apparently some like back when Yokai Watch like first hit the scene, it was like a huge fad or whatever in Japan. There was apparently some sort of thing where a news team was just interviewing just random kids about what they thought about it, and apparently some 5-year-old said something like, you know, they take those yokai and they just put them in the watch and imprison them like that. I guess when you think about it, humans are the real yokai. Wow! Deep! Child is a philosopher!
Think about it, won't you? Thank you.
So that apparently turned into like a huge meme or something in Japan where people are like, whoa!
That's great.
Thinking about it.
I like Frank's initial idea of like it was like a news reporter, like a show. Like I was picturing like one of those like world's wildest police chases, but about like yokai.
I'd watch that.
This umbrella monster thought he could get away with stealing, but the only place he's hopping is prison.
Rest in peace.
Officer, am I being bowed at?
Am I being sealed, officer? Am I being sealed? Am I being sealed, officer?
Oh, that'd be so good though, sovereign citizen yokai.
I'm pretty low on health.
Spirit world law says that you can't detain me.
We're making a much better version of Bright right now. It's on stream.
I still need to watch that.
No, you definitely don't.
But it's a bad movie.
But bad movie. I want to watch.
Frank, I'll have you know that me and Toast and his Spawn and Zarla all watched the Emoji movie the other day.
And the Woody Woodpecker movie.
And the Woody Woodpecker movie, but Ispawn went to bed before the Woody Woodpecker movie. But yeah, so nothing, no movie atrocity can scare me now. The Emoji movie's really good, you guys, by the way. You should totally watch it, all of you.
I was a little disappointed in the Emoji movie, believe it or not, in one way. It's like, I mean, it's bad. Don't get me wrong. It's super bad.
The lure was nice.
Yeah, they really should have worked on the world building. They actually should have, but anyways. But it was just more like boring dumb than weird dumb.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I was expecting it to be like.
The rails, but
I mean, the most interesting thing about it was that like it was like the script was like written by an old man. It seemed like it was written by an old man who didn't know how phones worked.
Yeah, that was so good though, because at one point the emojis traveled
Oh, I
to
got the tank, yes! Sorry, I'm really happy I got
piracy
the
app
Oh.
on the phone, and it's full of trolls. It's like,
Well,
what are
it's
you
trolls.
talking about?
Trolls and viruses and Trojans, you know, because I love to keep all my viruses on my piracy app, you know.
But Like, what? Trolls aren't even like a virus. That's like a.
That's true.
A description of a person. Are those like human souls trapped in the phone? It's never explained. Also, as Juan pointed out, the movie has a very high body count.
Yeah.
A lot of characters die in that. It was really good.
Oh, that dude's just over there, huh? I'm not gonna get to him in time. Nope.
Yeah, like one plot point is a character was like in a deleted app, and so they have to get to the trash of the phone before, like at the end of the day, it's emptied, and it's like phones don't have a trash bin. You just delete the app, and all the data's gone. Like it just
No,
it doesn't work that way.
I mean, for apps that's true, but most apps will actually, like image apps will absolutely keep the image for 30 days. And
There
then
was
delete it.
nothing about images in here. It was about apps
I mean,
and
you know,
emojis.
It's
yeah,
kind of
I mean,
what a phone does.
there are functions on the phone that are similar to that and do that, but like the way this was presented, it was obvious they were just like, oh, it's like the trash bin on a computer, right? There's trash on computers, so that's how phone works.
Yeah, that was
like,
yeah.
no, not really.
Also, if you... they get in the process of deleting everything on the phone, but since the kid unplugged the phone from, I don't know, the deletion machine, then everything gets restored.
Huh.
It's like, yeah, like the world is almost completely deleted, and then he unplugs the phone, and like everything gets brought back.
How? Okay.
Yeah.
So you unplug the
Yeah.
phone and things come back?
Yeah, because he took it to the not Apple store. He had an appointment to fix his phone because it was ruining his life because it kept playing Candy Crush when he didn't want it to. And they hook it up to something and to delete everything to do like a system wipe. But since it didn't finish wiping when he unplugged it from the system Wipeatron 5000, then it all came back.
Let me just do something.
Yeah, that's like having worked in cell phones. It's hilarious because it's like a phone. Even if you're doing like a system update, it's not going to be like. I guess you do erase it before, but that's an instant thing. And then if you're updating, then everything's already gone. You're just yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about the game now instead of the emoji
Okay,
movie.
Good.
So,
Oh, you have more stuff to talk about.
this is probably the first boss that really embraces the concept of the game, and I honestly think the bosses get much better from this point on. He seems to be sort of a shopkeeper, or maybe like a... I think he's the dude who keeps track of the magical scrolls for the Oboron, but if you hit him, he teleports away, and then his dogs teleport away, and then he comes back, and he starts using magic to heal himself, or maybe he drinks something, I'm not actually sure.
There's a
But,
little item box.
on normal, you can theoretically outdamage. You can outdamage his healing relatively easy if you just keep chasing him. It's not what you're supposed to do, but you can, and the game lets you. On Super, he heals way too fast, and you do way too little damage for that to work. So you absolutely have to talk to him on Super, or you won't kill him. But it also works as a great place. So you saw how little damage I did. But so that's how much damage a Tate can do with 6. It's the difference between, like, 100th of his health and, like, all of it.
At last.
And actually, almost every boss on hard has a way to one-hit kill them. Except for the first couple, obviously, where you can't Tate. I think on Super there's a few bosses that have too much health to one-hit, no matter what you do. But, the correct way to fight every boss is basically to one-hit kill it. And by the time you get to Super, it's often the only way. And even on normal, by the time you get to about stage 5, it's the only real way to do it. You don't always need to one-hit kill them, but you need to at least power up your sword a bunch, or you're just fighting for way too long.
After he dies, he should have, like, pulled all the evils into his sword and then just kind of looks around for a bit and then just starts, like, rummaging through the box that he left behind.
It's like, I mean, I could use them, these scrolls, like, I get...
Yeah, can I just have this? Like, or the next stage, it just doesn't even acknowledge it. It's just smash cut to him running around with the box on his back. Like, I'm taking these. It's just a foregone conclusion that I'm taking these.
So the last stage was very just sort of narrow corridor combat focused. This stage's gimmick is that the combat isn't quite as hard, not as many difficult defensive combats, but there's this webbing and all over the place. And if you step in it, you walk incredibly slowly. And you can't jump out of it. And it even makes your dash slow. And also, you guys probably have the stream music you can't hear, but every time I step in it or dash in it, Hotsuma goes meow. So and they overlay on top of each other, and it's really good. So this is like a huge pain actually when you first do it. Like it's really hard to fight on this because you don't even move forward with your sword slashes. It's a huge pain to like get out of it. It slows you down. Eventually you learn that right after a dash you actually have an opportunity to jump out of it. Which is still pretty difficult because now you have to think like, okay, when I touch the ground I have to dash and then jump and then I'm jumping and like it adds something. It's still difficult, but once you learn how to just consistently dash jump out of it, it is not nearly so bad. But it is sort of an interesting stage gimmick, and from this point on the stages tend to have some sort of theme or gimmick to them. Even if it's just like, there's a lot of platforming in this stage as a gimmick.
It's got little quadruped spiders.
Yeah, the spiders are the weakest enemy in the game, but they do have spawners. Which I just walked past. They're not very good spawners.
It's like a tube. Spider tube.
Yeah, they only spawn like one per wave. It's really weird. They barely spawn any spiders. It's not like if you leave it there, things will get out of control or anything.
They're probably like, oh, we can't actually go overboard with this because the too many models on screen will crash.
Well, it's also like more of them only makes the game easier, honestly. Like, it only helps me kill the other enemies. The resistance only makes my penis harder, in other words.
Right, spiders make your penis harder.
Right.
I've heard that somewhere. Spiders got skulls on their heads.
They do, because they're evil spiders.
Fake spiders. They got 4 legs. That's the true creepiness.
Let me kill this thing real quick. But yeah, the spiders have like they've got like a slash attack that sucks and a leap attack that's marginally better. They're just they've got the lowest health of any enemy, I think. I mean, I think they have the same amount of health as the dogs, but they don't have like blocking or running around like the dogs do. And I spent so much time walking around that I'm actually starting to lose health, but it's okay, because there's a health pick up here, and I'll kill some more dudes right about now. But yeah, the main challenge is, like, often in this level, there will be some of them on the other side of a room full of webs, and you just can't get over there. This is probably the first level where a lot of new players will start dying of own sword, instead of dying of enemy sword.
I'm gonna hit you. You should get like a big chain chomp mouth and eat them.
I also always get confused at the layout here, and I always have to check all the hallways.
It is very samey.
Oh, and this is probably one of the first... This is the first real level that you can skip major fights of it by just throwing shurikens right to destroy these. If you destroy these barriers from before where enemies spawn, then you simply won't have the enemies spawn. The speedrun of this game involves a lot of just throwing shurikens at specific places.
Playing kunai darts. Ninja darts.
There we go. See, I really flubbed that fight. It turned out okay, I got a little lucky. But I really flubbed it mostly because I didn't jump at the right time, so I never got off the ground and I never got out of the web.
And you're really taking it to these Skulltulas.
Yeah, you're gonna get all 100 of them. And you have infinite money in this game. That'll be useful.
Yeah, I mean, you guys aren't seeing me go into the shop very much, but it's very useful when you take all your money into the shop and you buy the big arrow quiver. It's very useful.
Feet!
Yeah, that...
It was in the ninja feet.
Camera! Early 3D cameras!
A big part of learning how to play this game well is learning how to maneuver the camera. Honest, I mean, that's true of a lot of 3D games, but this one's very fast-paced. It comes as second nature now to like do it correctly. But when I picked it up again, I was like, oh god, like it's genuinely a lot of about half the times I died in the early levels. It's just like I'm not looking at something that I would have liked to have known about it. But it almost feels like I mean, I think they knew that was an issue, and I think it's almost incorporated. This game is so tricky mechanically that it's almost like a real, genuine, like, mechanical thing that they could have put in intentionally. Like, I don't want to say it's good, exactly. But I do want to say it's a distinct part of the game, and the skill involved in the game.
Bye, Spider.
I'm not going to be able to finish this combo. Nope, they were too far. The last dude's still spawning. I can't kill him. Thank you.
Spiders have these webs everywhere, but I don't really see anything in them. I'm not really good at getting any food.
I mean, they've got a ninja.
There should have been other ninjas trapped in the webs.
I mean, all the ninjas are evil, so they should be like, come on. Get me out.
Yeah.
No, a really fun thing is that this entire city has been destroyed, and it doesn't really seem to matter. Like, I think there's a line in the intro of like, we've evacuated everybody immediately, so don't worry about it. Like, there's no one here.
That's an excuse. That's an excuse will go. And we evacuated literally everyone. There's not even like one survivor trapped in the rubble or anything. Don't even think about it.
One really neat thing about this game that I didn't realize, like, so what you can and can't run on is somewhat arbitrary. Like, I mean, it's sometimes obvious, like, oh, that's really uneven, so I can't run on it. But, sometimes, like, there's things that you should be, like, there's nothing obvious saying you can't run on it, but if you've been playing for a while, you just kind of know. Like, games these days, they have to color code that shit, usually. Like, ever since Mirror's Edge in particular, it's just been like, if a thing is yellow, it's a ledge you climb on. And it's like, you don't need to... As good as Mirror's Edge was, you don't need to neon coat your entire game in order to let the player know. Just be somewhat consistent with a few ideas, like, broken walls can't be climbed on. Non-broken ones, if they're flat, can be. If they're curved and you can climb, then they, like, look really clean.
I am Spider Kitty. Hello.
Tiger spider.
I like the spider. Spider Kitty.
So this is the first of the 4 beasts, or something?
No,
I don't
it's
remember
the
what
white
they're
tiger.
called. Yeah, it's the white tiger. It's the 4 directions on the compass beast.
Oh yeah, from Final Fantasy Legends, the mythological boom.
Yes, that is...
Yes, that's exactly where it comes from. Hello. This is actually what Mantra's cat looks like. That's why she had to hurry up and do it before going to bed.
Oh, there's a man over there, shoot. Oh, I messed it up. I didn't kill that one. So, the tricky thing here is that you want to kill all the spiders quickly so you can get the Tate, but you don't want to kill the spider spawners, because that's where you get your spiders.
That's where you get your spiders from.
Those are your damage factors.
That's my spider supply.
The tiger itself is pretty easy to deal with. But it's also firmly at the point where you don't do damage to him.
Where's the hug button?
It's the sword button. That's how ninjas hug.
Oh, that's why his clan's dead.
Yeah, it's mostly... Like, there's a reason no one joins the Oboro. Oh, also, like, the enemies shout things at you when you die. And the tiger shouts something at you, but it's very, very low, and I think they might not have translated his speech. Because I think maybe they didn't realize that it was speech. So I think it might still be in Japanese. I can't make it out well enough to know. Because anyway, if you make this...
Blades of Steel.
If you make the circuit, he basically won't hit you.
He's saying double dribble.
Also, there's a certain state where he will take double damage as if you backstab him, and I don't know how to do it. It just seems to happen. Because I've killed him in one hit on Super before.
Like
But
you hit him in the abdomen or something? Does that count as a backstab?
that's the only place you can hit him. You can't hit him in the
Oh.
head. Like, he's only damageable in the abdomen. I think it has to do with what state he's in. Also, I screwed up and destroyed one of the spawners. Womp.
Womp womp.
Because the thing is, the more spiders you hit, like, eventually you killing the spawners in one hit. Let's see, how much damage does this do? Oh, this is kind of unbearable. It might be faster for me to just die. I'll fight. No, I'll die. I'll give it one more shot. I'll die. I think it will literally be faster to die and get all the spawners back. Because every enemy you kill does double the damage, so missing one enemy means you're doing half damage. Which is pretty brutal. I think if you do it right, you kill him in 2 hits, unless you get that one hit thing somehow. The ultimately this boss is not, despite the fact I've died on him, I mean I kind of died on purpose, he's pretty easy, all things considered. He's kind of a step back, especially on Super. But I do want to say this is probably the first time on normal that you have to use the top of the system. I'm not sure that that's true. But like, you literally won't do enough damage quickly enough to not die.
If you need some not Frank talk time while we talk about BS, I've thought up some answers for the Mario enemies questions.
Do that.
Okay.
I've
So the
screwed up
cutest,
again, actually, so I'm gonna. It's just gonna. I could probably beat him without doing with 2 spawners, but it will take forever.
oh yeah.
Anyways, answer the question. Answer the question, Toast.
Oh my gosh! Oh no! No, the cutest Mario enemy I think is the spikes from Super Mario 3. Little
I like the spikes.
little
That
dudes.
is-
You
that
like
was
the barf
Cortex's
up.
answer.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're just
Although-
like these cute little guys, and they just go blah. Well, now they got the spiky ball.
Yeah. The Piper Mario ones, I think, are the cutest ones.
Those are pretty good.
Those are squishy.
I guess the ugliest Mario enemy. I mean, there aren't many ugly Mario enemies. I guess. Can we go recent Mario's, or is this only classic Mario's?
Well, the only stipulation that has to be like a recurring enemy and not like some super obscure thing that shows up in like one game.
Yeah, don't just pick some shit from one of the RPGs that sucks or something.
No, I was
Unless
gonna
it is
say-
really truly notably ugly and you think it's worth it anyway.
I was gonna say the Brutals from Odyssey are the ugliest, but I mean they are just boss characters in that one game, so I don't know if they count.
Brutals are pretty weird looking.
I guess maybe the Chargin' Chucks and Sumo Chucks? I mean, they're not, like, gross ugly, but I don't know. They may be the ugliest. But there aren't many... I don't find many enemies in Mario ugly, so I don't know.
Yeah, see, my answer for ugliest was the Yoshi, specifically the Yoshi story version of Blargs,
Oh.
which Frank very accurately described. It looks like it would be in a a medicine commercial.
Yeah, the Nazen XP has definitely fought that at some point.
That's really hideous.
Well, let me look this up, then. I've never played Yoshi's Story.
Good, you shouldn't.
Because it's,
Bad game. It's the only game I know of where the final boss has infinite invincibility just in the room with the final boss. So, that's a good game.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. It still, yeah, it really does look like
There we
the
go.
Mucinex, the lava version of the Mucinex guy.
I killed the man, and he falls in half. It was pretty gory.
He falls in half.
He falls in half. You telling me that's not falling in half?
This kills the spider. He is also made of meat. There's no inside of Tiger Spider.
Everyone you love is made of meat.
I think that was the tagline for this game. I'm
So
glad
I've
the
killed
sword doesn't
one
try
of
to
the
eat him
four.
during the cutscene.
One of the 4 celestial beings or monsters or whatever they're called. I don't remember. They have a name. The game kind of doesn't make a good point of introducing to you what they are, but they're actually kind of important to the plot that you fight them.
Aren't they called like devas or something?
You were
mythology.
thinking God Hand? Were they called that? No, they might be. I don't know. They're not called that in this game. But so we found the Shrine Maiden that we wanted to find. No one told us why we want to find her, but I guess we just decided it's probably a good idea to save apparently the only human left in the city.
Might be a good idea.
But then she got kidnapped by butterflies. And
As you do.
There's 8 stages in this game. I'm gonna finish stage 4 for tonight and then call it. So these are gonna be the last 2 stages.
Okay.
And there she goes with the butterflies. Bye, butterflies. So this is, no, actually, I was about to say something, but it's not quite true yet. This is the fire stage. It is, it's got fire. And its gimmick is that you can fall into fire, and there's like a mix of narrow corridors and much more wide open spaces. If you fall into the lava, it does not do that much to you. It actually only does about a half of a health thing. But it adds up over time, and usually the fire is in like a bad place you don't want to be. And if you're newer to the game and you don't know the ways to get out of it quickly, then falling into the fire you'll probably get hit 3 or 4 times.
And we have more floating heads, the Fudakuchiana heads.
That's right, is this only the second floating head?
Yeah, because it just had the fish first.
Right. And it was the same fish the whole time, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we might have forgotten something, but no, I guess the mall level is so closed in and low ceilings that there's not really any flying items in it, period.
So I think the boss to this stage is where I stopped.
That is incredibly common, because the boss of 4B is literally the difficulty gate of the game. Especially on normal, that's the point where the game's like, okay, fuck you. Okay, you basically know what you're doing, right? Well, fuck you then. Like, this is...
Oh, you think you're gonna be cute Bear Ninja game? Guess what, asshole?
Like, I've been playing on Super, so like a lot of things are different, and the game is more or less balanced around the Super difficulty. It works best at Super. It has the smoothest difficulty curve at Super. Which is weird, because most games are balanced around their normal difficulty. That's the standard thing. Even Devil May Cry is like balanced around its normal difficulty, and things come about when like they basically make the game for normal, and then they're like, how do we make this more difficult? And I'm pretty sure that Shinobi only had one difficulty to start with, and it was Super. And at a certain point in development, they're like, this is too hard. How do we make it easier? And you can tell because, like, on the earlier difficulties, it's unbalanced in a lot of ways. Like, there's too many, for instance, although it's a game largely about combat, the fighting is way too easy on normal compared to the platforming. The platforming doesn't get much easier. It pretty much stays the same, and the platforming is incredibly difficult at times. So, like, it becomes this really weird thing where on normal you breeze through every bit of combat and and then you just fucking die in pits all the time. Which is bad, because I think the platforming is not nearly as strong as the combat in this game. But it's also interesting that, like, I get to Super mode as a really good player, and I still get to have a really good time playing in it. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying either approach is necessarily better, but I can tell you that I think this game would be a lot weaker a lot weaker for me on replay value if it wasn't balanced around the hardest difficulty. Anyways, sorry.
Oh, listen to Frank Dog. So the stream is about is Frank Dog.
Become here to and watch and listen to you Frank out.
Oh, Frank out!
I guess I should introduce the 2 enemies from this stage. So the fire ninjas are a lot like the green guardian ninjas, only they're way more aggressive. They have a lot of pretty wide-angle attacks. Oh, and that's right, they do have a projectile attack. It takes them forever. But if you leave one alone for a long enough time, it will do like a bunch of Naruto hand signals, and then throw a really shitty fireball at you that will absolutely miss. and it's really adorable, and it takes them forever. But that's sort of their main gimmick, is that they have a projectile as like a ninja, and it's not really a very good gimmick. The little fat ladies who have a name I don't know, they actually have a face in the back of their head if you look real close.
I'm assuming it's the Budokuchi Ana.
That sounds right.
Because
Yeah, those are
they
weird
got a back head mouth.
Yep. Yeah, if you look when they do their dash attack, they actually flip around to bite you with it. They don't bite you with the masks. But yeah, they've got fireballs and they shoot them a lot, and those are their main thing that make them a pain. But their charge attack is probably a better attack because it goes very far, and it doesn't have much of a charge or a tail. Interesting enough, the fire guys have a bit less health than the ninjas we fought in the past couple levels, I think. Even though the trend so far has basically been... The trend throughout the whole game, really, is to give the ninjas gradually more health.
That's a trend I've been trying to hold in my life.
But they basically just amp up these dudes' aggression instead.
Guess it makes sense. They burn out quick, but they hit you a lot. Fire.
I shouldn't have my charge attack. Because I played so long without knowing the charge attack existed, I never remember to do it. Which is bad, it's actually really good. Man. This level's also really good for giving you ass shots when you do the tate.
Ooh.
It's very good at that.
Well,
It's no thick Dave, but it's pretty well.
Mr. Shinobi, are you trying to seduce me?
Heights.
Ooh, I got both of them with it. Nice. I was hoping that would happen. If you hit someone in a corner with a charge attack, it will hit multiple, like, it'll just kind of keep hitting them a bunch. It's way more powerful if you do that. But yeah, this level is, like, sort of a pretty even mix between combat and platforming. It's mostly combat. The next level, I think, is way more platforming. Wait, where's the... Oh! It got itself shoved in the corner. Something you might notice I do, because you can get your dash back, and this is sort of a thing you'll eventually have to learn, or you'll just suffer. Because you get your dash back when you hit somebody, but you don't get your jump, when you're doing a lot of aerial combat, you basically you want to keep that jump in reserve, because it's your only dodge, it's your only escape. So you pretty much always want to use the dash, and keep the double jump in reserve, and then once you use it, you want to land on the ground sooner rather than later. Because you basically have no way of dodging if you don't have that. I probably didn't need to burn the invincibility there, but I have 3 and I'm very low on health, and I really want to get this so I can get almost full health. I guess only half.
I like the back mouth creatures, because when you do the tate, they're just like, ah!
Oh my god.
Ooh. nice zoom in on his sexy abs there.
Let's see. This way? I'm gonna fall in the lava, yeah. Specifically because I used my double jump when I just talked about how it's not a good idea to use that.
Frank.
Oh, here you get to see the special 8-hit special effects right there. So yeah, if you get 8 or more people in a tate, then it does that, like, ching! It makes the sound effect. It puts a little slash across everything, and also when you put the sword away, it does a special effect. And that special, like, particle effect thing actually changes based on stage. Like, on this stage, it's flames. On other stages, it's, like, different things. I don't know if there's one for every stage, because I'm pretty sure it's impossible to get on stages 1 and 2. I think it's not doable in 3. I think there's a few ways to get like 8 or more hits.
Hey, not too shabby.
If you like manipulate
Hold up.
spawns so that you
Stay out
gather
of my
people
way.
up. But I don't think you can do it on every stage, so I don't know what happens what all the stages
Pay
are.
attention.
Hi,
Not
Kefka.
holding back this time.
Yeah, this dude is
Because ninja sunglasses.
this dude's really annoying. Actually, he's the worst.
I think this is the boss where I gave up, where I stopped
Is
with
it? It's not the next one? You sure it's not the next one?
I mean, I'm not positive. This was like
Because-
a long time ago,
because-
so...
Let me tell you, next one is the gift boss. Like that's where people stopped.
My fire shall consume you.
Like if this was on Steam and had achievements, like you could track like 50%, like you know, like 80% of people would beat this boss, and like 10% of people would beat the next one.
The smell of roasting
This dude's
flesh.
mostly really annoying. I guess I should probably show off what he does instead of just dodging him. It'll kill me to show off what he does, but that's fine.
Roasting flesh.
So he can shoot this really slow fireball that has a big explosion. That's probably his best attack. He can also do a 3-hit combo, which doesn't track. So if you're just at a lower or higher altitude than him, it won't hit you. Here, he's doing it right now. He also has a swing.
Consume you.
He'll swing at you sometimes. Or not. Okay, his minions are getting in the way now. I'm just gonna die so I can show it off more. So I'm about to die anyway. But yeah, this dude is awesome. And why does he wield an opium pipe? I don't know. Is it supposed to be an opium pipe, or is it just like a? I think it's just like a fire magic pipe thing.
It's, I mean, what it could be, and I'm not 100% certain if I'm right on this, but I seem to recall that, like, in a lot of old stories about ancient Japan and things like that, since you know, a bunch of people couldn't carry swords with them and stuff, then sometimes people just resorted to things like pipes to beat someone up with. And so, like, that just kind of became like an old thing of like, oh, a pipe is like a feasible weapon in like pop culture and stuff. Like, I think that's why Goemon and Mystical Ninja has a pipe. It's because of that.
Over here.
So yeah, the real shit that this guy does is his big explosion attack is pretty annoying. His melee swipes are really bad. But this dude's real shit is that he teleport explodes. If you hit him, you can only hit him once, and then he'll sort of knock back and recover, and then he'll do a teleport. Sometimes, when you go to hit him, he also just teleports as soon as you swing, and then there's an explosion right after that you have to dodge out of the way of. And so and then he can reappear anywhere, including all the way on top of this building. And if you're really thinking this through, you're thinking like, wait, so you could build up a whole combo and then get to him with just enough time to hit him? And then you swing your sword and he just RNG decides to teleport and not take damage? And the answer is yes. Yes, that's what happens. And you think, and then you're like, well, why don't you just shuriken him? You can't shuriken him. He doesn't get hit by shurikens. From this point on, most bosses don't. In fact, sometimes he dodges the shurikens with like a special left or right dodge, and sometimes he teleports when you throw the shuriken. And he's like, nah. You're not gonna paralyze me. That would make this like doable. You can that's right. You can paralyze him if he's in the middle of his 3-hit combo thing that sucks. So I guess that's a strat. But the thing is,
the kunai just floated across the screen. You bonk right in the face.
the thing is, like, as soon as the paralysis wears off, he will teleport immediately. So like, you need to actually hit him. You can't just use that to approach. You need to hit him or it won't work. Well, he didn't teleport, but he blocked. Ah, shit, I missed it. One thing that happens is that, in boss fights, the minions are relatively likely to drop health. Even if they're minions that ordinarily don't. In normal levels, only the, like, demon things drop health. Like large demon enemies. But, in boss fights, just so that you have some kind of sustain. He just teleported, and I've got nothing to hit. Go fuck yourself. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That happens all the time. That's this whole fucking level. You also, if he's on one of the taller buildings, you pretty much want to hit him and force him to teleport before you hit the enemies, because it just takes too long to get up there. Especially if he's on like the really tall building on the side there. teleported. I thought he was in the middle of his 3-hit, so I threw a shuriken and he teleported.
My fire shall consume you.
But yeah, anyways, just they want you to be able to like not constantly trickle down. They don't drop enough health that you can keep ahead of the game unless you're on normal, but it does let you continue even if you don't have a perfect game. Oh, I hit him twice. Oh, I almost hit him again from the back! Ooh, that was so close. I almost got it.
Over here.
Because he didn't decide to teleport right away, but I didn't get it.
Ooh.
Oh, he's on the tall building now. So I'm gonna go hit him now, ahead of time, because I ain't dealing with that shit. Because you can't just jump up there, you have to go all the way around. Like, I don't think it's even... I guess it's theoretically possible that an enemy would position just right.
I think that's why it's possible I may have quit on this guy as opposed to the next guy, because I think I was getting tired of this bullshit.
Yeah, no, it's real bullshit. Like, again, I do want to emphasize, I'm actually doing pretty well right now. Not as well as I can be, but like, this is probably harder than it looks. It's such a simple game that it doesn't always show how difficult it is. Ah, no, don't walk into that, man! Ah, damn it. The wrong thing happened. A consequence of the minions dropping health is that if you kill like half a wave, you usually just kind of want to slaughter the other half to see if they drop health or not. Because like a full, you won't ever like get an overspawn. Like if a boss spawns 6 enemies and you kill 3, when he spawns again, he won't spawn 6 more and give you 9. You'll still only get 6 total. So you might as well roll the dice on a health drop. What? Okay. Bye. See ya. I did want to hit you with the sword, but it's fine. I have other plans.
My fire shall consume you. Burn, burn. Ah, the smell of roasting flesh.
This game could use a taunt button. I mean, every game could. But sometimes you're waiting for a boss.
Literally every game.
Like, I'm not even really joking. I think almost every game should have a taunt button.
Firewatch.
Gotcha! I just had to sit in the lava.
This war of mine. Freaking just refugees hiding out in the house. Come on.
So be it.
Yay.
I shall die by my own hand.
So yeah, they still have some degree of control if it goes along with it. It's not always clear how much, but turns out some of the Boro are assholes, which is really surprising considering how nice a guy Hotsuma is, but...
I'll die by my own hand after you already beat me within an inch of my life and you're...
Yeah. It's like, okay, yeah, your hand, sure. No, I'll give it to you, whatever, man.
Those 4 eyes on his headband roll.
Yeah.
Like all 4 of them at once, like, wait, that doesn't even work.
It's like bleeding from a like giant cuts on his body. By my own destiny, by my own hand. Just like, yeah, okay. Sure.
Get in my sword's belly.
By the way, that thing I mentioned about holding your double jump is really key for that last boss fight. Because of the big fire lake in the middle, like it's really likely you'll find in a situation where you can't make the dash to the next enemy, and you'll just keep falling in the lake over and over.
That was me! I'm raising my hand, that's me! That happened to me!
So yeah, if you don't keep the double jump in reserve, then like, even if you do that level right otherwise, you might, every single time you go through a wave of enemies, you might fall in the fire like 3 or 4 times, and that really adds up. I really like this level's theme, actually. It's one of my favorites. So this level is... Oops! Nice dash that I didn't do. This level is in a volcano now, instead of just being in a town near a volcano. I guess is what the last one was? I'm not really sure what the last one was.
You know, I gotta say, I gotta give them props for having realistic lava. Like, in that, like, lava, like, if you land on lava or something lands on lava, it doesn't, like, sink down like quicksand and melt. It, like, you stay on top of it because it's still just molten rock, and then it just kind of lights on fire, so...
You're just...
Yeah, that's why they did it.
Yeah.
I mean...
Realism.
Trust me. You're saying, oh, he doesn't sink into things. Next level. He'll be sinking into some things.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into specifics because it's amazing, and I want you guys to see it, but,
That'll be the focus of the next website we're gonna read, sinkingninjas.org.
I'm gonna lose it. Where's the... Oh, he was right above my head. God damn it. Oh, and see now, this room gets really screwed up if you miss your Tate, because, like... Oh, I actually managed to make it. How about that? The groups of enemies spawn really far apart, so if you kill 3 and then, like, 2 spawn, they're on the other side of the level. And you usually don't get the combo, but I did this time.
Mid-air pose.
Okay. Doors open. This area is really... These little, like, cross-through tunnels are really easy to get. They're probably the place I still get turned around in. Because they're identical. They're perfectly symmetrical. And it's really common to get a Tate and have the camera pick an arbitrary angle that it's looking at the end. And super common to come out the wrong direction. Like, the rest of the game, you eventually realize which direction is which, and you don't get turned around. But here, there's just no way to turn around. You do. It might take, like, 20 hours, but you do.
You might.
I really like Portex having played this game in the past, remembering it. It's a nice counterpoint where she's just like... You're like, so this is kind of bullshit. It's like, yeah, it was.
Yeah, it bullshit. This game bullshit sometimes.
We haven't even started on the bullshit. The game doesn't even get hard until the boss of this level. Like, that's where we're at right now. It's ridiculous what this game eventually ends up doing.
Holding line face.
I got so mad and then hit him in the face.
Pushed him in the lava.
So we're supposed to go to that middle area from here. We could have actually jumped over there. There's a tricky jump you can do from the starting of this room that you can get to there. But we can just skip a fight by tossing a shuriken. Skip a fight and a lot of travel.
Click on this banner and it's safe.
Whoa! One thing about these fire dudes is that their slashes have a tendency to go behind them, which is really cool and I like it. And when I get hit by someone slashing the other direction, I'm always like, this is a really good thing, and it was good, and I'm happy this interaction happened.
Are you being serious?
Yes, always. I wouldn't joke about games, Cortex.
It's true. Frank once saw someone make a joke about a game and he snapped his neck.
My own neck.
Right. He snapped it because he couldn't stand the thought of someone making a joke about a video game.
How dare you? I'll be right back.
No! I need to... Okay, good. I almost lost that combo. I really didn't want to lose that. Oops, I double jumped. Wait, did I miss one? Oh, I did. I missed one of the little thingies. I think I'm right near the end of the level, so I might pause. Oh, not quite. Wait, why'd they despawn? That was weird. I guess they respawned.
They were like, nah, we're done.
Oh, the last one's over there? Why is he so far? He was supposed to come in... Every once in a while an enemy's like, I'm gonna hang out. And you're like, okay. And you don't get the Tate on them. Because they're somewhere else. So, I guess it's okay in this case. I didn't need it that bad. If I had less health, that might have been really brutal, because the difference between that tank dropping 1 health thing and it dropping 3 is pretty big. Okay, yeah, this is right at the end. They're right at the end of levels, so I might wait for those to come back.
I'm back.
Oh, hey. Just in time.
I waited forever on you.
So this level does a neat little thing that I probably should have pointed out at the start of the level. But if you look across the way there, that's the start of the level. The whole level's a big circle around the edge of the volcano. And then you go into the center. So you can actually turn... if you looked, which I didn't point out, but if you'd looked at the start, you would have seen this gate right here. There's no way to get across as far as I can tell. And even if you could, there's like a thing blocking this until you go all the way around. But it's there. There's probably a loading zone if you can somehow zip through.
Oh, that'd have been great.
I've looked at the speedrun and they don't do that, so I don't think it's possible.
I'm sure some poor guy spent like hours trying to find it. Couldn't do it.
Are you all right?
Fool! This is the end.
Maiden thrown into a volcano. Classic story.
Man meets maiden, maiden gets captured, maiden turns into butterflies. It's classic.
You're not a bird. You're a moth woman.
So she's the second of the 4 beasts, and I think she's supposed to be like the phoenix, but she's not.
Well, technically, like, the vermilion bird isn't supposed to be a phoenix, it's just our red bird.
Yeah.
Well,
So this thing is red,
that's
but it's
pretty...
not a bird.
No, but it's fiery, so...
Perhaps if I give him your head as a gift,
You know.
maybe.
Moths are not birds.
You got me there, video game.
Oh, that was a really good line reading, by the way. Maybe he will give me her legs as a reward. I love that one. So this boss, like literally this boss fight on normal is such a huge jump in. There's a few places where the game makes a big jump in difficulty. The first one is probably the mall level, which is a pretty decent jump. But this is just a gigantic jump, like even from the level to this boss fight. It's not as bad now in super mode. It's not as much of a terrible thing. But especially when you're not as familiar with some of the ways that this game works, it's fucking brutal. Also, I should add that I'm kind of avoiding doing this, but there are generally ways to cheese at least a big portion of a boss's health bar with, because I have 3 scrolls. And that's pretty lame, so I'm mostly avoiding doing it. I'm generally holding myself to just 1 scroll.
Call their friends.
Well, that's not ideal. Oh, she killed me with that. Thought I'd get out of the way. That's fine.
What an animal!
I was kind of expecting to die. So, because I kind of want to talk about her things. Anyway, so her attacks are mostly a bunch of different kinds of fireballs. She also has this attack, which she'll do right off the bat.
Oh no!
I'll let her show. She lights up the whole center platform with a fire pillar for several seconds. And if you touch it, you just get hit. Now the secret, if you're new, it just feels like this huge cock block where if you're in the middle of a combo and she does that, you're just screwed. And you have to like jump all the way over here and then onto one of these platforms and then jump back up, and I actually didn't even make the platform, it's bad. But the secret way to dodge that big fire pillar is just to jump and sort of hang yourself in midair with your double jumps and then dash back on. Which is trickier to do than it looks like, because the flames linger for a while, but it's not that bad. The rest of her attacks are just different types of fireballs, pretty much all of which can be dodged by jumping. But also pretty much all of which can hit her minions. It's not super common, but it can happen. And it's actually happened twice, which is probably because I'm dilly-dallying on killing them, because I'm talking.
Killy-dally. That's what we call it in business. Hello, Mother.
You guys also might not hear it, but she's yelling, "The fun has just begun." Every time before she summons minions, she says, "Am I going a little too easy on the fun has just begun?" Because they didn't make the voice clips the right length.
It's the guy from Mega Man 7. All over
again. Flame Hyenard. Burn
to the wall.
Burn! Yeah.
Although I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
just find out, like, literally 2 days ago, that she says something different if she's low enough health. She says, like, this is difficult, or something that's cooler than that, but I don't remember. It still clips, though. Like, it's not better. So the trick to killing her minions well is to wait a couple seconds so that they actually hover over the main platform a little bit better. Because they will almost universally all charge in at you. Ah, she did her flame attack at the worst possible time. She was basically invincible right when I needed her not to be. Oh, and in case you're curious, shurikens don't do anything to her. Or really any of the big demons.
So you should poke holes in her wings with the kunai. Like, that should be a thing you should be able to... So then she'd fall down into lava.
What you need is a giant, What's the name for people study bugs? My term left me. You need one of those giant needles.
Etymologist?
Entomologist, yeah, you need like an entomologist needle.
Just poke her in. Put her into a glass case.
Yeah, there you go.
The fun has just begun.
Ooh, that fireball almost hit me. Those will, though. No, not that one! That was my fault. I'm gonna die now. I'm dead already, so I'm just gonna sit in the lava.
That's fine.
Now the girl belongs to me.
Well, I don't like
I
you.
think just the ninja pose all in the lava. It's really good.
Yeah.
Let's see how strong.
Chai says, there's a lot of exciting stuff in these cutscenes and it always seems to happen off screen. That's 100% correct. And it's for the same reason that stuff happens off screen in, like, low budget movies. It's literally budget reasons. These cutscenes were expensive. And in fact, the whole, like, feel of the game feels very, like, what do you call it? Super Sentai or whatever, or, you know, like, low-budget Japanese TV, and I don't know how intentional that is. It sometimes feels pretty intentional. No, god damn it. I'm not gonna finish this, no. I screwed that out. I didn't dodge the fireballs. Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and retry because I made no progress.
Don't worry.
This one might take a bit. Like I said, it's a big jump in difficulty. Shouldn't be that hard for me these days, but it can be. Oh, and in case it's not obvious, the tactic for after you hit her, she will do the big pillar thing, which she'll also damage you on contact while she's doing that. So once you hit her, you have to dash away to the wall, and like land on the roads that are for some reason stapled to the inside wall of this volcano, which is weird. It's just a road. But yeah, you want to run on that because you can wall in on the wall there. Where's the thing? Why is it over there?
Am I going a little too rough on? The fun has just begun.
God damn it. Okay, good. No, she did not just do the flame pillar. She sure did. Well,
Get her ass, Frank.
that was unlucky. Like, the flame pillar doesn't usually come in... Unlike some bosses, her invincibility move isn't usually that much of a dick to you, but it's happened a couple times now. Oh, I guess I can quickly show off just how bad doing the damage things to bosses are. I'll do the blade thing. Oops, that's right, she gets invisible as soon as I hit her. So, it doesn't do very much. As you can see.
Yeah.
And the flame one would do even less. So that's why they're just not great. Once you get past the first few bosses and how they're low health but difficult to battle. Once the Tate starts really coming into play, they just don't match up to something that makes it easier to Tate. Oh, damn. That hit. So I have this weird theory, because there are days when she seems to almost never do that move, and days where she does it all the time. I feel like there's a random seed that you can get, somehow. That's based off of. Because it's probably not true. But it's so weird how consistent it is that she either does it a lot or not at all. Please land on the platform. No, she's running away! I juked myself. If any boss ever gets too hard, I will lower the difficulty and beat it there. And just run through the level quickly. Fuck you! Are you kidding me? Wow, right in the face! Brutal.
Oh man, jerk.
She was a real jerk there. She's just completely slammed me in the face. This game is very difficult. I don't know if I've said that enough. It's not fair. Like, it's definitely based on 2D games and how they just felt fair to be as difficult as possible. And there's ways that it feels really good. Like, there's never a point where the game's like, oh, this is too hard, let's make it easy. It can be really satisfying to just have a handful of basic things, and you have to overcome them, or you don't. It's very antithetical to everything that's happened today. Even in Devil May Cry, like 1, the game will modify itself to be easier if you have trouble in an area. It does it secretly. So you have to do that 3 times. Cool bits. Very doable. I just need to do it 3 times the magic.
The fun has just begun!
Okay, that's twice. Now I gotta concentrate. Hold it. Oops. Shit, she went over there. Just looking around for health pickups. This is tricky. This is a bad amount of health to have, actually. Oh, god damn it. Fuck.
Now the girl belongs to me.
Okay. Yeah, Turtle, that's incredibly valid. Turtle points out that in the DMC games I did, if I get hit, I say nice hit. In this game, when I get hit, I say fuck you. It's absolutely 100% true. This game is... It's like, it's bullshit, but most games that are bullshit like this do it accidentally. This game is very deliberate.
Yeah.
It's not an accident that she, like, has a move that makes her invincible, that she does when you want to hit her. Like, that's... They're like, let's make this challenging. Like, let's do that. This game got pretty solid 7 out of 10s, for specifically that reason. Also the camera. Everybody hated cameras. Even then, even when there weren't good cameras, people were mad about cameras.
They need it conceivably. Somehow in the future would be better.
Another perfectly timed swoop to make her invincible. Here she comes again. If you're wondering how... Sorry, what?
I was just gonna say, if I say you're the cutest Mario enemy, will that make you feel better? Because you seem
no, make me the ugliest Mario enemy. Oh, I could take it. My choice for ugliest Mario enemy is controversial, by the way. Cortex.
No, yeah, he said Cheap Sheeps were ugly. That's what he said.
Cheap Sheeps are fucking gross, man.
They're circles.
They're little fish.
Yeah.
Especially like the ones that have.
They are fish.
Especially like the ones that have the goggles.
Yeah, the ones on the top.
I love it.
They circles.
Somebody in the chat said the cutest were the boos, and that is definitely a strong, close runner-up for me. Because not only are boos adorable, but I really love cartoon ghosts. Like they just really amuse me.
Yeah. I think the boot's a pretty accurate representation of what the Souls of the Dead look like.
Sure. I mean, both. I find them cute, but also I think it's just funny that it's just like it is just like, oh, the spirit of a thing. It's just like a sheet with like a face on it.
Yeah.
Like that's just really amusing to me for some reason.
Boots are pretty cute. Yeah, Isfahan's votes were he said Wigglers were the ugliest because they have a man face on a caterpillar body. However, he also said he didn't like Pokies because they have the big smile and like the hollow eyes, and he thought that was creepy.
Wow, that's did one of them like kick his dog or something? weirdly personal.
Well, I did ask. I was like to explain his answer because I wanted to know like the logic behind each person's answer. His vote for cutest was Rex.
Oh, Rex is pretty cute.
Like the Mario World Rexes.
Yeah, those are pretty cute. When you jump on them, they squish down. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what he said because he couldn't remember what they were called. So he was like, those purple Yoshi-looking things that we jump on and they squish. I also asked Phil. Phil's vote for cutest was Chain Chomp.
Chain Chomp is pretty dang adorable.
And his explanation was enormous eyes and mouth and literally kept as pets in Link's Awakening. And his first runner-up was Blarg, big dopey smile and googly eyes and loves splashing in lava.
I agree with that.
His honorable mentions were Spike Top and Cataquax.
Spike Top and Cataquax, I forget those. Let me look those up here.
Spike Tops look like Spinies, but they just got one little poke on the top.
Oh yeah.
Cataquax are those duck things from Mario Sunshine that knock you 30 feet into the air.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
He said the ugliest, he said, although not off-puttingly so, is the fake Goomba knockoff with the round body, so the Mario World Goombas.
Oh, those are adorable. I hate them. I don't like them as much as I like regular Goombas as enemies, but they're just little chestnut people. It's fine. But I just.
Excuse you, Frank. Fine. This debate got red hot.
Frank, we're having a discussion here, please. Could you not interrupt?
With your video game play?
Ugliest or fuzzies? Oh, come on. They got a big goofy face. That's adorable. Pepsi Man was the one who said boos are the cutest, by the way, earlier. So.
His Weird Mario enemy conceptual. No, Weird Mario is the best Mario.
What is Weird Mario?
Oh man, they show you Weird Mario. So in Mario Maker, they put in a bunch of goofy
yes,
mushrooms.
I know. Never mind. I know exactly what Weird Mario is.
Oh, Skinny Mario? Oh, he's a creeper. He's got a rap sheet.
Long Mario.
Like, Long Mario is. Long Mario's got a mugshot of him in every post office. He's a creeper. He's a
Weird Mario.
Gross.
I love that it's called Weird Mario because it's like, oh, Weird Mario. What is that? Oh yeah, that is.
Yep, that is weird.
It delivers what it promised. Can't say that's not a Weird Mario. I love Weird Mario. That's more of a power-up.
I like that the weird mushroom is just a really long mushroom.
Yeah, it's like, what happens when I touch this thing? Oh yeah, okay. That'd do it.
Oh shit, I didn't hear a sound cue, and now I'm down here. Nice.
You just got those weird lanky arms. Yeah, the worst Mario enemy, the non-cutest Mario enemy is Weird Mario. I'd agree with that. Sorry, go ahead.
You guys got a Switch doll? I have a Switch, and Toast has a Switch. Frank may someday have a Switch.
I will eventually. I'm salaried now, and I can probably afford one.
Ooh.
Good idea.
Be an adult and make a smart decision of when to get it.
I'm gonna beat Celeste, which I'm pretty close to doing, and I need to play Treasure Adventure World because I literally owe it to that man. He's the best. And I love
He pulled him out of a burning car.
He did pull me out of a burning car.
Oh
Full of moss.
A burning car called Depression. Wait.
Oh my god, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I found a picture of Weird Mario in the Tanuki suit, and he looks like a goddamn creeper.
Oh, yeah,
goddamn
I've-
creeper furry, and it's the worst
Hey,
thing
so-
I've ever seen in my life.
Here's a genuine question. Would you guys rather me do this until I do it, which I will do, or would you rather me go to an easier difficulty level and do
You
it?
can
then?
do it. It's when like whatever, like if you think you got it, you know. I just don't want you to annoy yourself. But
Oh no,
I'm watching while we're battling. So.
Okay. Yeah, it's more like, do you
Yeah.
want? I don't know if you guys like have lives or like want to leave.
No,
need to be
that
free?
never. Never.
I'm already here, so the answer is no. I mean, I'm really enjoying your stream. Thanks for having me.
Weird Mario on Yoshi's sprite is so good. I just found it.
Okay, so it's a really small sprite, but I'll put it in the chat. Here's Weird Mario and the Tanuki, so you might have to zoom in on it. But it's no.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh, it's so close.
God damn it! Oh shit, I missed the platform too. I'm just retrying that. I know what you're showing though. I've seen that image of him in the Tanuki suit. It's very bad. By which I mean very good.
Yeah. See, Frank, I think you're really once you get your Switch, you're really gonna enjoy Bayonetta 2. That fun.
Oh yeah, Weird Mario and Yoshi is pretty good. Yoshi looks like Weird Yoshi.
Everyone become a weird.
The fun has just begun.
What? Oh no. Oh well. It's not that bad actually. I haven't killed anybody yet. No, you. Yes.
Oh no!
I shouldn't have done it battling off the edge of the platform. I should have gone on the platform first.
If you
Don't worry. I'll be gentle.
Chat's saying they don't like Weird Mario. Chat, you're wrong. Weird Mario is amazing.
I mean, I think he's amazing and great just for how weird and how much of a creeper he is. But yeah.
I like that Nintendo's willing to do genuinely bizarre things.
Oh, totally.
I'm a big fan of that.
I've always had a weird sense of humor that like pokes through the corporate facade every once in a while. That's really nice.
That is something that I do like about Nintendo is that, I mean, I don't know exactly what Japanese fans of games, like how they react to stuff like that, but I know that at least on our side of things, the American websites, if a game company puts any like joke or anything silly in their game, they're just like, you're not taking it seriously. Why you do that's so stupid? Why is that in the game? You should take it seriously. That's dumb. Like how like a bunch of people get super mad that Dan exists in Street Fighter.
Oh yeah.
Not badass or whatever. It's like, but Nintendo doesn't really know or care about that kind of reaction. They're just like, yeah, we're gonna put the Wii Fit Trainer in Smash Brothers. It's stupid. It's hilarious. Obviously, we're going to do that.
I missed the platforms. That's bad. This is a bad place to be in.
Dan is a beautiful creature. You're correct, Pepsi Man. That's like the litmus test to see if like it's worth talking to an individual person about video games. Like ask them their opinion on Dan.
What? I'm sorry, did she just like decide to not get hit? What just happened?
What happened, Frank?
I'm
You
like,
you went like past her. Or
I feel like
next
she
to her.
pivoted. Like, I'm just really confused now, and I feel like I'm in a bad spot. And I'm like just falling into lava now because I don't understand. I've never seen that.
She like did like the Bugs Bunny like step away at the last second. Like,
I think I just died actually.
No idea.
I don't think I have enough health to live anymore. I need to. I really don't. I hesitated. I should have gone right at her. Is the truth, but I don't really know why that outcome was. I think she like started to do her halfway circle around thing and then stopped, and it was really weird.
Really weird. It was really weird, Mario.
Lost Shinobi. Weird Shinobi. Long
Weird
leg
Shinobi.
Shinobi.
Ah, I would see. Okay, that's gonna go in the ninja game that's got hamburgers in some capacity. Like that's the proportions of the ninja. He has
I'm weird
Mario
Shinobi
proportions.
because I'm a Shinobi. That's weird. That's
See?
Like, is that your
Workshopping
title?
this.
Did your parents name you that? Like what?
And he just never acknowledges that question in the cutscenes.
Okay, good start.
Being a badass ninja man. You're being even cooler than Naruto.
Oh, you mean, are you talking about Boruto's father?
Yeah, Boruto's daddy.
Ooh, I jumped at the
Boruto
very
Senior.
wrong time.
God, I promise not to go on about it, but maybe I shouldn't admit this, but I actually do like Naruto. Yeah, fighting. But Boruto is
And
like...
your jutsu.
I know, right? But Boruto is the most like... It's just, it is as stupid as it looks. Just like, what are their kids doing? Let's follow the kids of these characters. And that's all it is. Like, in the last show,
made, like years ago, it would be like the Flintstone kids, only be like
It is.
Naruto kids.
it's a ninja named Scooby Boruto. Like, I swear to God, that's what it is. And it's like, so the whole thing about Naruto, without spoiling, or if, I don't know if you care, but there's like this big world-ending thing that happens, and like, things about the world are revealed, and the apocalypse happens, and they stop it, yay! And then everything's like, and now he is hidden ninja, and everything's fine. And then like, so there's like no real stakes to the plot at all in Naruto. It's just like, here are kids.
I mean, since Turtle did point out that Boruto is technically Bort, is the first chapter of Boruto titled "My Son is also named Bort" because
Oh, I wish. I wish.
the entire comic is drawn in Simpson style. See, we improve every piece of entertainment we talk about. I feel that we should be like gazillionaires. Like, could that just be our job, just improving different forms of entertainment?
I mean, you say that, but look at the things that make money. It's not good things. We need to start making bad things.
That's
That's the
true.
problem.
So we should take good things and make them bad,
Correct.
and then make them good again. And then people like it that we made them good again.
By the way, I just realized Boruto is worse than like the the Flintstones kids or whatever a pup named Scooby-Doo, because that was like the main characters as children. Or Yo-Yogi, yeah. That was the main characters as children. I mean, those sucked, but I could see why they would want to do that. This is like when they made the show about Pebbles and Bam Bam as teens.
Oh yeah, God, what was that called? That was.
Oh, she blocked it with your fucking wings! Sorry, go on.
I don't think that's what it was called.
I loved She Blocked It with her fucking wings.
She blocked it with her fucking wings. Is that the best theme song?
I think it was on Fox Kids. They could do it. No, it's I don't even know the name. I just remember there was one. It's like we're rocking teens now, and our Fred and Wilma are older. You know, it's just, but like even that wasn't like. Like, I'd see why you'd want to have the originals as kids so the kids could relate, but this is like, who cared about... Nobody cared about that at all, and that's Naruto. I think maybe the creator of Naruto either had hard times, he was told to make a show like this, or he just ran out of ideas, because it's like, oh, he's done with Naruto after doing that so long, I wonder what other, like, new idea he'll start out with, it'll be interesting. Then, like, later on he comes out, it's like, hey, so... You guys want to hear about Naruto's kid?
Maybe like he was in a board meeting or something. They're like, "No, you have to come up with a new one. You have to." And he was like, and like he figured if I come up with something so stupid, they'll like never let me make comics again for free. So like, I got a comic called Boruto. It's like Naruto but a bow.
Are you saying that Boruto is the Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian of the manga world? Because I totally agree.
No, it's the producers of the manga world. Oh shit, I'm gonna die.
I think that's
there it is.
epic.
There it is. You're nearly guaranteed to take at least one hit while you're doing a combo on these, because of all the chargy dicks surrounding you.
Chargy dicks.
Chargy dicks. Well, the problem is, like, you can't take them on in the line. You have to be surrounded by them, because the alternative is to be in the middle of nowhere and fall. Like,
That's deep.
Chai Tea Latte has some good rewrite of lyrics.
Of the clone.
All the kids are sexy teens now. They're in anime, you guys. Bored high.
Bored high.
Let's see how strong.
You know, we actually tried to do an F Plus Kids spin-off, and we were immediately censored by the FTC. We were not allowed to continue.
I think I could convince a kid to read, like, stupid, like, clean fanfic, but, like, really stupid fanfic. That'd be pretty good.
Or like find a version of something similar to like Dexter and Computress get Mandark or something.
Yes, and then Mandark's
Great.
I love that episode.
Was that, like, actually written by a child?
It
I'm
was.
pretty sure it really was. No, they actually brought one of the kids in to just say that. And then Dexter said. Ah, so good.
Restart, I've made no progress. And I used my magic scroll and she used invincibility. Which is also a magic scroll.
Let's see
Power gaming.
how strong you really are.
Yo, Frank, I don't mind watching you play, but I don't want you to get too mad. If you want to, be less
No, getting mad is
mad.
the whole point of this game. If you're not willing to
Okay.
get mad, you don't play this game. If you don't enjoy it.
Fair enough.
Like, I'm enjoying myself right now. I don't want you guys to get bored. I can absolutely just go to an easier level, breeze through the... Go to an interesting
I'm
difficulty.
enjoying watching.
Oh yeah, me
Okay,
too.
if you, as long as you guys are enjoying this, I could do this for another hour. Like, it's enjoyable for me.
Oh no!
The fun has just begun.
I just went on a diatribe about Boruto, so obviously I don't got shit else to do. This is my life now. Just
Where
talking
did
about
things...
Boruto.
Okay, well, that's a retry. That was very
What the hell
simple.
happened?
I didn't know where the last enemy was, and I, like, froze, and then I just fell instead of dashing back to... I should have dashed to the platform and then tried to find him quickly.
I do always love that whenever Shane gets into the lava, he poses. He does his ninja pose.
I love that you call him Shane. Like,
He's Shane
Shinobi.
Obi!
Shane Obi.
Yeah.
Hey, it's me, Shane Obi. I bet you're wondering how I got into this situation.
I imagine him being like a puffy sneakers 90s cartoon ninja teaching kids to stay off drugs. If you get into drugs, a giant fire moth will show up and try to kill you.
Remember, kids, knowledge is the real ninja magic.
If I had time, I would make an entire Tumblr account of nothing but just like me doing shitty 90s cartoons of like every video game and current show ever made.
Yeah.
Like, I'm almost positive, had I the connections, I could convince Yacht Club Games to start a
Wow, that was
Netflix show
terrible.
that's like the shitty 90s cartoon of Shovel Knight. I'm almost positive they would be down for it.
That would be beautiful. I would fully support that.
Don't
Yeah.
I'll be jealous.
I just really, I mean, I don't know if it's people feel it's played out because of the, you know, the old G.I. Joe films and stuff, but I really just like parodies of the old, you know, we gotta put in a morality thing at the end so they don't get mad at us for, you know, we gotta be educational at this
Yeah,
point, so we're gonna
yeah.
talk about, like, so many of those, I feel like so many of those were about making sure before you throw them away you cut, like, the six-pack containers, like the six-pack holders, so you don't get,
That
like,
was really common, yes.
and I'm just like, that. Why was that the particular like bug in there? Like, the bug stuck in their head of like, oh well, we got to make sure we all start cutting these so they don't get caught around the next
I
one.
guess because it's like an easy thing for kids to do.
Yeah, true, I can see that. That makes a lot of sense actually.
Oh, that's my guess.
It's a very like pragmatic, like the whole thing is like, oh well, if we don't want kids to take drugs, tell them to say no to drugs kind of thing. It's just like, well, if we don't want animals to have these six-pack holders over their heads, well, we'll just cut the six-pack holders, and they won't stick. Problem solved.
I need to start rewatching some shitty 90s cartoons again.
Yes.
They're shitty in such an amazing way because it'll be just stuff just goes off the rails and has nothing to do with each other. The story will fall apart incredibly quickly.
I mean, the Super Friends is still kind of astounding to me that people put that on TV and were fine with the plot.
Yeah, it's so good. I was trying to explain the concept of Silverhawks to Zarla the other day. It was very difficult to put
I don't
into
even
words.
know that one.
Incomprehensible. Oh god, it was so weird. Okay, so the theme song and tagline for the show was partly metal, partly real, which, because I guess they figured organic didn't roll off the tongue, but metal is totally real, you guys. I don't know if you knew that.
I've never seen metal. I don't know what you're talking about.
But it was a team of, it took place in, okay, this is really hard to describe this show because it was just like such a weird collection of strange bullshit just kind of happening in sequence. But there were people who were in like a futuristic space program or like in the galaxy or whatever, but either they got injured or they volunteered or whatever to become partly metal, partly real superheroes called the Silverhawks. Only one of them never left the spaceship, and the other was an alien made of copper. So really, the silver part, and only one of them was a hawk. So it was kind of just all over the place. But there was like a bad guy who has a big evil octopus in space, and he's kind of a threat in some vague way that doesn't really make any sense.
It sounds very nonsense.
Yeah, and their boss was like a grizzled like cop who was also part robot, but he had like a New York like police office in the middle of space, so that also exists.
You son of a bitch!
I know, right? I wish the cartoon was better too, but we can't do anything about it now. But like, I was trying to describe to Zara like how insane the plots were in that show, because one episode was about, kind of anyway, after it got to the quote-unquote story, was that there was like an intergalactic casino, and there was, the main bad guy had one very specific slot machine in it, and he invited someone else, I think another bad guy, to get addicted to playing the slot machine, because if this particular slot machine ever lined up 3 bombs or something, like symbols, then it would like blow up the world, like a world or something.
Why not just blow up the world?
What do you mean? What do you mean? That part of the story is just never addressed, Frank. Never.
Like you
It's
can
never
just
explained.
do that. Why not just make a button?
No, it has to be a slot machine, and it has to have someone play it so many times they eventually hit 3 bombs on it. Pepsi Man says RNG to destroy the planet. Yes. So the Silverhawks had to infiltrate this casino, and then something happens, I forget what, and there's like a battle, but every time they get into a fight, their friend, who is also part robot, because he's technically one of the Silverhawks, will show up in their giant battle spaceship. But the thing is, the guy doesn't use the battle spaceship to really like blow up anyone with like space missiles. He's like a cowboy, and he like plays guitar in the spaceship, and like that's how he contributes to the fight.
How is that
saying,
helpful?
I think it had the guitar gave out like laser beam rays or something from the spaceship.
Singing cowboys of the
Again,
future.
A button. Just put a button.
No, it was on his acoustic guitar. God damn it. Yeah. Yeah. It was. It didn't really make any sense.
Shit, I fucked that one up myself.
One of the members of the team was, like I said, made of copper, but he was like an alien, and he was called the Copper Kid, and he looked kind of like they turned an orangutan into a doll, and then turned that doll into a robot. And he didn't talk. I think he just made like dolphin noises or something. He made just weird noises.
What? Again, just have them talk. Like, it's not hard, folks.
No, he alien. I especially didn't understand the concept of the Copper Kid, because like usually in these shows there would be like a kid member of the team to like be like, oh, you know, you can think of yourself like you could join the superheroes if you wanted to, like
Right.
that sort of thing to appeal to
Okay,
kids. But like,
the story's
the kid
good,
doesn't talk.
but I'm gonna have to ask you to not say anything right now. It's important.
Okay.
Because I think this is the one. Not to call it.
The fun has just begun.
She just killed some of them, I think. She did, she killed one. Okay. Not quite the one yet, but...
I'm not through with you yet.
Yeah, she said something different. She's not through with me yet. I hadn't heard that one, or at least I'd forgotten about it.
The fun has just begun.
Yes!
Yay! Take that, moth.
See, like, the tension, when it takes that long and it's that hard, when it can take that long and it's that hard, like, the tension and the feel of success, they're really genuinely there, like, in a way that they aren't in a game that just isn't that brutal to you.
Oh no, girl fall down.
I mean, it's not to the same level of your play, but every time I beat a hard level in Cuphead, I know that feeling.
Okay, so...
Yay, Frank.
Yay me. Do you guys want to see... Well, I could do one more level and then, like, have the last 3 levels and maybe some bonuses be the next stream? I don't know. Up to you and how much you value your time.
Whatever everyone wants to do.
I'm cool with whatever.
Frank, what do you want to do?
I could do one more. Because the last levels, the last ones are particularly difficult and brutal, I think.
I'll CHIT.
And yeah, that's true. There's really only one level, because Stage 5B is just a boss. And it's not as hard a boss as the one I just fought.
I hope not.
That is not the hardest boss in the game, but I don't think he's as hard. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
But yeah, I definitely know the feeling you're talking about, like the tension release. Like, what's the name of the level in Cuphead where you're fighting the big bird in the birdhouse?
Actually, I'm going to cut it, but mostly I'm doing this so I can show you one thing. Because you talked about syncing, and I do want to show that off, and it's right here.
You know,
I'll
as a
skip the
joke.
cutscene, and then I think I will cut the stream. I was waffling. I think I'll cut it. But
Okay.
you were talking about syncing, and that's this level's theme. After a pretty difficult set of combat levels, this level has very little actual combat, and is basically an entire, very difficult platforming challenge. And the fun thing is that the water goes up and down. The level of the water goes up and down, and you're probably thinking like, well, that doesn't seem that dangerous, like you can just stand right here, right? Nope! You drown in an ankle deep worth of water.
Ooh.
You guys will really like this when it shows up in
Ninjas keep their lungs in their feet.
You just, the water gets to your ankles, and you fucking dissolve. Because that's this game.
Ninjas are apparently made out of the same thing the Wicked Witch of the West is.
Oh, I know what I could do. I could show off the 2 bonus
Anti-ninja water.
Let me show off the 2 bonus characters real quick, and then we'll call it. So you need to unlock these by getting enough emblems. There's not enough emblems in normal to get you Moritsune. And there's not enough emblems in hard to get you Joe Musashi, so you have to beat normal and hard in order to have enough to get them, too. So let me just go ahead and start. So, Moritsune, what's really weird is that he looks just like the evil guy in the game. But it can't be, because that's not Moritsune, that's some evil guy.
No, that's some other guy.
So the thing about Moritsune is that he's just better than Hotsuma at everything. He's faster. There's basically 3 stats. How fast you are. I think he runs a little faster. His dash seems noticeably faster to me. It recovers faster. He does a lot more damage. Like, I think he does at least twice as much damage. Like, I'm killing these guys in 2 hits where I was killing them in 1 before. And there's power of your magic spells, which is apparently higher, although I can't really confirm that. But supposedly, his is the highest, or the second highest. The downside to playing as him is that his yin gauge drains twice as fast. So, like, if you
Get away from you.
if you don't kill people quickly, you like his yin gauge becomes a real concern. But the fact is that ultimately he kills people so fast that that doesn't matter that much. There's only a few levels where you're already fighting for yin gauge as Muritsune where that actually matters. Or as Hotsune, where Muritsune's at a disadvantage. He's mostly just much, much better. Oh, and both of the bonus characters share the same voice actor, which is weird. But they don't say much. They mostly just go, "Ha!" every time they kill somebody. Now,
But it's in the same way.
the third character is very different. It's Joe from the original games. Oh, and you'll notice that they all have something that trails behind them. Muritsune had his hair. Joe has like a weird thing on is it from his scabbard or is it the back of his mask? Okay, dogs, I'm trying to talk. Are you for real? So Joe does
I'll feed you later.
Actually, no, I'm literally just gonna magic them. Please stop. So Joe does a bit more damage with his sword. And his I think his default sword might not do more damage, but I think like when you build up Tate damage, he does more overall. He's not faster. He doesn't get any special moves or anything. His magic is supposed to be the most powerful. I don't know how true that is. The thing that Joe really has is that he doesn't have a yin meter. So,
oh yeah, I noticed that.
And he has infinite shurikens, and his shurikens don't stun, they do damage, like in the original Shinobi. So, Joe can pick and choose his fights. He's the most powerful, for sure. But he can also just, continuously shuriken at people, which is pretty fun to just sort of abuse. He's a really fun character to play as. There's things that, like, there are bosses that can't be hurt by shurikens, where it's just like, oh, Joe's not that good against them, but ultimately Joe's pretty good. Oh, I guess I can show you that there's a shuriken combo on the ground, but if you're in the air, you throw them much, much faster. The game doesn't really, I think you're gonna do a bunch of shurikens, so it doesn't really know, like, the enemies are like, well, he's gonna have to come over here at some point, right? So yeah, I think Joe's super fun. His biggest use is that he can pick up the remaining Oboro coins you haven't gotten yet, because you're free to explore the level and get them without a time limit, which is nice.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, those are the bonus characters.
Yay!
Thank you.
And yeah, I don't know when we'll do this next. I think next weekend I'm going... Actually, you know, I think I'm going to do that 2 weekends from now. Yeah, do you guys want to do this next weekend? Next Saturday? Finish
think
it
that'll
up?
work.
Like the Saturday after this upcoming one? You mean?
I mean, a
Or do
week
you say
from
next-
now.
Oh, for a week from now. Yeah, I should be up for it. I can.
Sorry, I said 2 weekends from now for something else. I was, like, doing scheduling.
Oh, okay.
I was probably
I was
pretty
confused.
confusing. That was a stage whisper. You couldn't hear it.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Okay, sure. And we'll finish that off. And you'll get to see the brutal back half of this game. And I will probably start
Yay.
using save states. At least for
Is
the
that-
bosses.
Is that when you start fighting? At what point do you fight Spider-Man and Batman?
In my dreams, every night.
Oh, okay.
They haunt me.
You could play. You could play the original uncopyright fiction Shinobi for that.
How come it still shows Shinobi when I shut it? Oh, because I didn't really shut it down. There you go. Okay, so thanks for watching, everybody. I know the stream was probably a little more samey than other ones, because Shinobi is brutal and hard and short, but so is life. Make the most of it. Thanks, everybody. And I click the button now.